Okay.
Welcome, Sketchbook Heroes and Sketchbook Warriors. We're gonna do some some abstract stuff tonight. We're gonna do some abstract stuff, and then we're gonna get into drawing. So we'll start off simple and then going. We will be taking a month off, actually, for recording. But if you go to our website, let's go to our website. Let me share my screen. There we go. Did I share my screen? Share screen. Oh, here we go. Right, here we go. If you go to our website, sketchbookhero.com, sketchbookhero.com, not warrior. If you go to that takes us there. Here we go, sketchbookhero.com. You see these videos that I haven't changed since July, but you can go to click on these and go there. But we have links right below that. The YouTube channel, if you click on that, you'll see all the videos. You can subscribe, ring the bell to get all the updates. There will be a new website, but a new YouTube channel. There's a new YouTube channel. It's going to be Sketchbook Warrior, and it's going to be all these videos cut up and here as well too. This is going to be the lessons that you go through. The biggest challenge is yourself. Really having a purpose, a why you're doing stuff. Like somebody was showing their cards tonight. They're doing birthday cards and Father's Day cards, and then having a goal and expectation and being clear with those. And these videos will help to what you're shooting for. We focus on line just a little bit, not too much. Really focus on shape when you're learning to draw. This video here is good on shapes on our website right now. I know I'll be adding my videos. You can actually, if you're really brand new, here's a link right here to Board Panda. You go to Board Panda and you can see drawing. Everything's just shapes. Everything's just shapes. You can just practice drawing these if you're absolute beginner. And then we've got, we'll have more stuff and more links and stuff here, but you go to shapes and we break it down. We break it down from ratios, angles, proportions, and placement. I call it wrap to draw, and that breaks down shape. And that helps you get to the next level. Once you get shape down, we get to the next level, which is form and the basic forms and stuff. And there's going to be more links and videos to that. And that's what I'm going to be working on in June. But you'll be able to see and communicate with us. If you go to our Sketchbook Heroes and Warriors Facebook group. So if you click on that, that will take you to our Facebook Warriors. And I put links here all the time. You can see this one about line weights. That was a good one. And oh, Pearl put one on, that's cool, skulls. So, you know, posting things, go back in here. You can see some other drawings from Pearl and look at that. Proportions on face, and actually that's pretty inspiring. I want to do something like that for something. There we go. All right, cool. And you can see some other postings. This is also possible. I think eventually when I get back, we'll actually maybe even work on something like this. The problem with teaching something like this, it takes a long time. It takes a long time to do. It takes a while. So if you're not at that level, we'll eventually maybe do some of those videos, because I can do that. It takes time. All right, we'll probably do a video, and it'll be on our website. It'll be on our website. It'll be after you get through the whole course, and you can see 1, 2, and onward. All right, let's get started. So here we go. We're going to do this. This is from pictures that were submitted. This is really similar to artwork. If you go to neurographic, I think is it something neuro, because it has to do with the neurons. And our Alan graphic art. Yeah, there it is. Neurographic art. Really fun stuff. I had my students doing these, and it's really great stuff, and it looks really good. I mean, look at these. They always turn out really well. This is very similar to the work that let me see, what is it called? The relax. Oh, Zentangles. There you go, Zentangles, because it's abstract and you can really get lost into this work. So this is I'll show you the process. It's very simple, but you can do some really, if you with watercolors or markers. And there's videos out there that help you do these. So look at neurographic art. You can see it right in there. So we'll do one of these. I'll show you how we do it. You can see, ooh, look at this one. This one's done with shapes too. Shapes on top. Really cool. All right, we're going to do that. That's that. We'll just jump through these so you can see what we're going to do tonight. That one's really similar. So we'll just do one. Here's another one that's really similar. This was done with digital, I can tell, but it's the same process. It's the neurographic, because you can see where the lines cross over. They are making them thick. So it's a kind of a semi-neurographic art. And here's the brain. We'll probably save that one. We'll probably do this one. I do have some stuff on the golden ratio and the Fibonacci sequence. I can bring that up. That one's pretty neat. The golden ratio. And you'll see it everywhere, actually, like in a storm and in all kinds of places. You see this design in nature, which is really cool. Fibonacci, which is a mathematician, discovered the sequence and how it actually applies to math, which is really cool. Mr. Osborne, may I be excused? My brain is full. Very funny stuff. No need, not necessarily for drawing. So yeah, that's we could draw some of these, but definitely we're dealing with the brain. Definitely we'll draw this one next. That'll probably be the first one we'll draw. We'll draw that one after our neurographic art, and maybe a brain. And this is funny. Pharmacy. Definitely take care of your brain. You got to exercise. You got to make sure you're moving around. And take one a day with tomato and a cucumber. Pharmacy. That's funny. And that's the best actually medicine is a natural medicine. And drink tea. Here we have some books, and that'll be afterwards. We'll draw that, and you can see these actually probably from here. We can actually, I mean, if you look at all the reflections and all that stuff, that's actually possible to get realistic. All right, art. It's a whole brainer. And then now we'll probably end the night with something like these and this. And I don't know if somebody requests that one. We'll see. Just simple shapes. All right. I think maybe some landscapes. All right, let's go back to here. All right, so we're gonna do something like that. I'll show you how I do mine. That's there's our drawing from Tuesday. Tuesday's video was really good. Oh, that's how I get upside down, because I have to go upside down. It's Clint Eastwood. That one was fun to do. Oh man, it was one of the first movies. I remember going to see that movie as a kid. My dad took us to see The Good, the Bad, and Ugly. It was like, wow, it was pretty moving. All right, so here we go. Neurographic art. It starts off with lines, and you can do these lines from one side to the other. So it's really just that path, and they kind of represent my favorite subject, which is the brain. All right, so let's see how we're gonna do this. All right, let's well, we'll do a small one because we can take, I'm just going to show you how to do it. You can do it in any size, and what's great about this is it's abstract, and you don't have to worry about you know, you don't have to worry about accuracy. That's the thing, accuracy. So you can say this is your paper.
Wait, is your paper on the big screen? All I see on the big screen is I don't see you drawing.
There we go. Thank you. That should be it. Oh, let me see. Nope. There you go. Thank you.
There we go.
Thank you. All right. Yeah, I was so excited about seeing everybody's work. That's great. I don't know what it was, but anyways, here's I just put a square on the paper. Now what you're gonna do is on your paper, depending on whatever size, you just go from one side to the other, and on that journey, just going up and down, and go from one side to the other. You can do you can actually even cross over, just simple lines, just like this. And you got to be really careful with the shapes you're creating. We just created 4 shapes with 2 lines. And so there's 4 shapes right there. You can actually even put a shape on top, but you got to be careful not to make really small shapes. So if I were to, this is what you don't want to do. Yeah, well, you can actually. I don't want to say don't. You know, because but the thing is, if you get really small shapes like right here, if I were to do this little shape right here, you get a little triangle in there. Some of those are going to be a little bit harder to color in, and you'll learn that. And sometimes it's the best way to learn by knowing what not to do. I'm like, oh, next time I'm going to do a little more space. See, like right there. See, now my triangle is bigger. I can color that in. And I can then, if I wanted to, actually even put a shape in here, like a heart, or if you just want to do a shape, you can do a circle. See that circle shape in there? And then just breaking up the space. You really, and this is a good exercise to think about the space and composition, stuff that's actually more advanced about how you're composing things and how you're making things flow and line, and how things kind of go together. I kind of like that. So you can do something like that, and you can do several if you want while we're doing this. It's a pretty easy, simple project. You want to go ahead and on your own, do that. I'll probably do another little one over here, but that's what I have so far on that one. Let's do one more. I don't know if I'll finish it, but just to show you how easy it is, just going from one side to another. If you want to really just really, and these are the neurons, the synapses, the connections, and your brain is amazing. When you're first learning something, you're building a path, just like a grass. You walk through a path, and you're walking through a path of grass, and it's kind of hard the first time, but then you walk through the path again, and the path gets wider and faster. And the same thing with your drawing and your skills and your speaking too. I used to, I've gotten so much better at speaking. English is my second language, but and it's all really practice. It's really just trying and focusing and seeing how you want to improve and reflecting on your work. It's not just going through the grass. You kind of have to look back at the grass and see, oh, I don't like that path. Let's try a different path, and sometimes changing habits, right? You can uh, uh, there's a quote that I just recalled, but about habits, how easy they are to start, but they're like handcuffs afterwards, and same thing. It's like a path, and it's how the brain works. The brain works like that. So once you have your design, whichever way, this one is a little more spirally, this one's a little more straight. We can actually even do like the one picture that we had where you had little, really get really wild with the lines, more expressive. And each of these lines are a little bit, you see, this is a little more angst. I heard somebody say a little more anxious, a little more energy, right? So you can do that. Now that's the first step. So this is the first step. Your designs can be any way. The second step is now where everywhere there's a crossover, there's an inner connection, we do the connection. So, and I've had students struggle with this so much. So let's see, some struggle, some students never got it. So basically what we're doing is we're everywhere there's these lines intersect, you want to soften them up. So like here, it can get like the line not just goes across to that line, but it can go up to this line, and it can go down to this line. It's almost like making it a kite. I don't know if it looks like, to me, they look like little kites, and then filling them in, right? So this is the neurons that are making the connections, and in your brain, there we go, there's one connection, and you do that to all of the intersections, all the intersections. And here's your your friendly reminder. That's where most accidents happen, is at the intersection. So it's really important to be careful when you're driving out there. This is just your what is it called, those public service announcement, PSA. So yeah, be careful at those intersections. All right, here we go. So just keep going. It's pretty fun. Just do this to all the intersections now. And that's step two of this project. You can thicken up your lines. You can use markers. I'm using a pen. This is just a ballpoint pen. This is like a commercial one. Somebody's advertising I got from somewhere. When you're first learning tools, materials, you just whatever you have is important, because you're just learning. And don't be so the one problem I had, and still kind of like I have, is I treating your work too precious, too precious. Sometimes you just got to do it, and just hey, it's out there. Sometimes we treat it like it's supposed to be perfect. It's supposed to, what's more important is practice and process, and just doing it. And then the more you do it, the more connections in your brain, and the better you get, the more you improve. It's not about perfection, it's about process. It's about practice, and it's about progress. Progressing. Learn of the process, and then progress from there. There you go. Oh, that looks, that's it. All right, so basically that one's done. Let's see, so it's pretty straightforward, pretty easy going, relaxing, very zen. Tangles are fun too. But we're dealing with space, and playing with it, and shapes, and just dividing space up. And look at these shapes, and you can still like say, hey, maybe I want to break this space up a little bit more. I can break the space up right in here. I can go in here, and another little line coming down this way, another concentric shape this way. And now I just made more cross sections, and just cross them over. All right, and then we're ready for the next step. The last step actually is just coloring them in, just coloring in these shapes, different shapes. You can do watercolors. I mean, because I did this with ink, watercolor on here would work really nicely. And just play with the colors. You can just use two colors if you want, different combinations of colors. There's the psychology of color, psychology of line, psychology of shape. Psychology of line, you can have smooth lines. Psychology of color, you can have cool colors and warm colors. Those are the two biggest categories in color. You can have, you can have one color, one warm color, cool color. This is all the icing stuff. This is all the stuff that I usually don't talk about in this class because it's not important to drawing, but it's important for the icing on the cake. Everybody wants the icing on the cake to look nice. These actually do look nice. See, and then just shape, color one in, color your shapes in. And it's nice, just relaxing. And that's why I'm making it small because these can take a while just to color and play with. There we go. There's that. That one's green here. Let's go with another color. Actually, green. Let's go with yeah, let's learn about color theory a little bit while we're having fun. So we have the color wheel. And the color wheel, the traditional color wheel is 3 primaries. When actuality, there's 11, but the 3 color primaries is a good way to start. And the 11 primaries are just, it's very similar if you ever want to go that deep. But you mostly learn the three colors, which is red, yellow, and blue. Red, yellow, and blue. Well, we won't get into that. Drawing it out. Let's see. We'll just do that. Now, green, analogous colors are the colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. So analogous. So I'm going to go with blue. And those colors actually look nice. Now, if you want something to stand out, you choose colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel. So that produces contrast. It's also known as the complementary color. So here's blue. This is an analogous color. It's next to the green on the color wheel. And just color that in like that. And I can do the whole thing just with blue and green, which is fun because yeah, it'd be fun to do. And I can press the green darker or lighter. So I'm going a little bit darker here. And I can make a gradient too, where it blends out lighter in the same color. See, that's a gradient. That's good practice for shading. See, there we go. It goes from dark to light. Let's go with the blue. Let's do the same thing with the blue. Pressing a little bit harder. And then lifting up on that pressure to make it go lighter as I come out. And look at it, it kind of gives it a form. It starts creating 3 dimensions, actually. We're actually folding space and time. It's pretty fascinating. We are manipulating here. And again, I'm going to do the same thing because that actually, I don't know, I like the way it goes. I'm just going with it. I just really like the circle shape, that rounded shape. So I'm pressing a little bit darker and then going lighter as I come out. I'm going to do the same thing, but this time I'm going to do it a little bit different. It's always good to understand different ways of doing it. Those I just went straight. Another way I do it sometimes is I just shade the whole thing one value, and have the whole thing one value, and then on top of that, go darker. All right. Then I build up my values. This is like more work, but you have more control. So now I can build up my values and press a little bit harder on top of it. Let's see, and I can build it up. And this is really a good way of doing your shading when you're shading just with pencil, just doing pencil. These are pencils too, but colored pencils. And if I want to go darker, I can push it even darker and just build up that. These are not just any colored pencils, they're watercolor pencils. I can actually, put water on these and these will blend really nicely. These are Crayola pencils. I'll have, once I get my store up, I'll have those linked, and you can get those. I have quite a bit of those ready to go out. All right, so I'm gonna pretty much, I might not continue this, but this is a good practice. You can do this on your own. It's simple. It's very, very relaxing. You can do this on your own. I'm gonna try to get that round shape here. See, we got that round shape, and then I can actually go with other colors here. I can get away from this blue green combination that I'm doing there. Really relaxing. This is very low stress. It can be stressful with drawing. You're trying to capture something. It's a little more, like, I don't get it. And that's, you really need to learn how to relax and take it back. Like, okay, whatever comes out, it's not about the product. It's about the process. It's not the product, really. The product comes in time. The product will come in time. It's like you're shooting baskets. You're not going to make every basket. You're not going to like all your work, but you'll do that. Let me see. Here we go. Yeah, we got quite a few people here tonight. Welcome, everybody. I'm gonna mute. I think we get some background sounds. All right, there we go. That should be it. All right, let's see. Ooh, and just play. It should all be play. You're playing stuff. Like, hey, you can try some and experiment. Something, just some experiments work, some don't. And then you get to actually learn your materials, what you like, what you don't like. Here we're going with another color. This is a warm color. These are cool colors over here. Now we're going with warm colors. So we're going to go in with this. What does this say? It says a magenta. Magenta. Let's go with another. It's a warm color, a little bit on the cool side because there is blue in this. It's on the purple. Let's see what other color we've got. Oh, this other one. This is what is this called? This is I can't see. My vision's going. I can't see what that is. It says watercolors. Huh. I don't think this is the same. No, I think this is a different brand. Let me get some lead out on this one. I use my razor blade. But it's all good. It's all fun. It's all shapes. Here we go. This one's really similar to that. They're analogous colors. They're really next to each other on the color wheel. Almost looks like the same color. But as we start putting more of these, you'll see that there is a slight difference. There we go. There's that one. Let's go back with this one over here. I'm doing a pattern. This color now. All right. Well, you get the idea. I'll probably go for another minute, and then we'll get going. I'm gonna go ahead and skip this one, and then do that one because it's still the same color here. And if you just let your imagination go with these, I mean, you can, I don't know, this could be like a whole other universe, a whole other planet. Really interesting. Just playing with shapes and playing with form without even worrying about it, aiming for anything. All right, let's see. Anything in the chat? No, nothing new. All right, welcome. If you're just coming in here, I think somebody just came in. We're doing a neurographic art. There's a lot of stuff on the internet about it. I just went over it. And see, I can go really light here. I can actually even go different shades. See, that's contrast. That's more contrast, more of a difference. Here, there's less of a difference because I went darker and you have dark against dark. But you can have contrast, which is a difference, light and dark. And when there's no contrast, like white on white, a polar bear in snow, you don't see it. And that's actually a famous painting by who is that? I want to say it was in the 60s. Who is that artist? He's famous for doing a white on white. Let me see. White on white. White on white. And they were really dealing with perception and stuff like that. I don't know, is it Kazimir Malevich, White on White. Oh, there it is. Suprematist composition, white on white. Is it? Yeah, it's the artist Kazimir Malevich. And that was done in 1918. Wow. But yeah, that definitely inspired a lot of the artists, pop art and all that stuff, and visual and how the eyes sees and stuff like that, I think. All right, well, let's continue this. Yeah, again, these are fun. You should be doing art for fun anyways. If you're getting stressed, this is actually because art can be stressful if you kind of like trying to get it and trying to get it, don't get it. But it's good. You gotta see, that's the thing. You gotta balance it. You gotta find that balance. You gotta find where it's if it's you gotta find I call it your on your on the art highway. If you're just getting on the art highway, you gotta, watch you're just getting on and watch for the other cars and stuff like that. But you got, if you're in the slow lane, that's okay. You're in the slow lane, you're moving, you got to know which lane you're in. And all right, you're in the slow lane and you slowly speed up. You slowly, once you feel you're confident, then you go to the next lane. Right. And if you're not having fun, that's you need to go back, a lane or go back, know where you're at, and kind of pushing it like, okay, I've gotten here, comfortable here. What's the next step? How can I push my work? And that's where my website will go. If you're going from line, you're going to shape, right? And you're just focusing on shapes, looking for shapes, drawing shapes. That's where you could be. You could be at that stage for a bit. And we'll have those exercises. And we do that when the beginners, we mostly focus on shape. And then once you are done with shape and seeing shape and looking for shape, then you start form, and that's form is the next level, next step, I would think. And you can skip these steps. I mean, you can jump straight into form if you want to, push yourself into form. But yeah, that's form. And then after form, I think it's value, which is light and dark and color. All that stuff's the icing. There's all the elements. And those elements are basically, what do you see? What do you see? What do you see around you? And how do you see? You're looking at stuff. It's all observing. What are we going to do here? Those. Is this color? I just lost it. Lost in thought. I think it's this one. Yeah, there we go. Push that one. I think I'm going to push some of these edges a little bit darker. So there we go. Push some of this. See contrast. So I've been doing it light. Now here I'm going to go dark. Push that dark. Maybe make them really soft and rounded. Go from one shade to another. Really relaxing. Really no agenda, no hidden agenda. I'm just doing it for fun and abstract. My favorite question is, what's that supposed to be? What is that? It's abstract. Abstract. Wow. And it's funny. It's just oh, I missed a spot. It's funny because it's building your, as a warrior, as a, you should be creative and not worry about what other people think or say. And that's the hard part. That's where you got to learn to know what your shield is. And if you want to thicken up some of these lines, hey, I'm going to thicken up some of these lines. I think that they would look good. And trusting yourself. That's the thing, trusting yourself and building your self-confidence just by doing stuff, stepping outside your comfort zone. We get comfortable. We're afraid to make mistakes, afraid to do stuff. Have that artistic license. So when nobody's going to see it, you can put this away and just have fun. Or you didn't like it. That's okay. It's all good. Like the student, he wasn't coming to my class. Hey, Mr. Chavez, what's my grade? Oh, I had to fail you. Oh, it's all good. And it is. It's all good. It is what it is. It's all good. If you learn, especially from you learn from it, it's like, hey, I better start going to class then, or hey, maybe this is not for me, or I need to do it a different way. It's I gotta find my way, and that's it. It's my way. Gotta find your way. How do you do it? What do you like? What don't you like? Maybe you don't like this, and that's okay. You should try it. Don't try broccoli. I don't like broccoli. Why? Because it's green. I don't like tomatoes. Why? Because they look like I don't know, like alien something. I don't know. Anyways, but it's really interesting how your brain can just play tricks on you, and it's overcoming those things. All right, I think that's pretty good. You get the idea. All right, I'd love to see what these look like. All right, let's jump into our drawing. That was a great little practice exercise. All right, let me share my screen. Where am I? I'm all over the place here because things got moved. All right, so here we go. Yeah. Share my screen. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I thought I saw something in the chat before I went to the. Oh, oh well, where am I? Oh, here's my thing. Ta-da. All right. So yes, our website, sketchbookhero.com, you'll see our videos here and any updates will be here. It is launched on May 4th. Yeah, I never really launched. I'm taking June off so I can work on this. The videos will be here, you know, and you just follow the videos. There's going to be 3 paths. There's going to be the fastest way. It's going to be the fastest, funnest way to learn how to draw. Fastest, funnest, best way to learn how to draw. If you want to just do the fast way, you would skip all this stuff and just jump to the important stuff, the fast ones. They're going to have probably like a little lightning thing. So the lightning videos, if you want to learn really fast, the best way is to really have a purpose, you knowing why you're drawing, having the purpose, and you would jump into this, you know, and you know, you learn a lot about yourself, your kind of person you are. You know, in your habits and building habits. And this would be the long way, but I think it's the best way because you're drawing and you're just drawing because you have a purpose. You're drawing and, you know, hey, just jump into it. You know why you want to do it. There's going to be ups and downs and learning the hard way. It's actually very foundational learning. I think it's first principles. I call it first principles learning because you really learn by mistakes. And like, okay, I've been down this road. I'm not going to do that again. Or I learn, hey, I've been down this road. I need to figure this out. How do you do this way? I've tried, you know, perspective, or I tried whatever. Perspective will be here too. All right, all that will be here as we put this together. How do we solve problems, right? All right, let's jump to our drawing for tonight. We got off on the neurographic art. There we go. There's another one. And I know there's some links there in our meetup website. Yeah, this is done digitally. You can do it digitally too. This is another way of doing it digitally. All this neurographic art. There's our brain. We're gonna skip that one for now. Let's see. I wanted to do that one. Let's do this one. All right. Oh, wow, there's a lot going on. A lot of shapes. We can sometimes when there's a lot of stuff, it's good just to break things down into fourths. So we're going to use the fourths, May 4th. I can just put a square over it. That's the best way, actually. If I put the square, oh, we got green tonight. There it is. Now, if I select it, my fourths come out right there. You can see right there. There's the fourths, there's a half, and then there's the half. You can see that this character is on that half, and then everything's else on that half. So just kind of break it into halves. That kind of helps know where everything's kind of be. There's the half, and I think the other half was over here. Bam. There we go. That's into fourths. Now they're not perfect squares. So if you have your paper's longer or shorter, they're really close to squares. Your proportions or it might be askew. So it might be stretched out. So I've got to watch out for that. Let's double check this. Not yet, a little bit higher. Let's bring this out. Let's bring this one up a little bit. Ooh, double click, single click. Let's move it up. No, I can't use my keyboard. There we go. That should be it. Yeah, that's good. All right, now let's look for these shapes. I can see the big shapes. Let's look for these big shapes. These probably would be the mama shapes. The papa shapes would be the squares I just drew. But here we go. There's a big circle like almost right there, especially with these little circles. Notice how they're kind of flattened on one side, but they're not perfectly circle. If we put a perfect circle, you can see how it's different. Compare and contrast, same, different. It can be like a circle here and it's just stretched up. There you go. Ooh, look at that. Bam. It's just a little stretch. Notice, so that's ratios, the height compared to the width. The height compared to the width, we have a circle there, which is 1 to 1. And this one's just a little bit taller. This one's probably a circle, the one that's behind, and that's overlapping. It's behind that eye, that eye. So this one's behind. Bam, look at that. That one's behind. And look at those 2 eyes, like right in there, right inside that one eye. That's pretty cool. And you've got all these other shapes and stuff. Just angles. I'll just point them out. Curves can get you mixed up, but it's best to kind of see it without the curves. Try to see the shape. Don't let the curves are actually really easy to put in, but you got to see the shapes. If you see the shapes, they're easier. It's easier to draw. So you can see the shapes here. Slight angle down, look at the angles. So wrap to draw, we have ratios, we have angles. And sometimes you just need to focus on angles, and that's all you're doing is focusing on angles. That's the stage you're in. You might have to be in that stage for a while. You might just have to be in a stage where just focusing on ratios and looking at all the shapes and noticing all the shapes, how the ratios they have, right? And then you have angles, and then you have proportions. That's the last one. Proportions is the toughest one. It's how big something is compared to something else. So we can take the head here, this big circle head, and you can compare it. Well, it's already have these 4 squares, they're all the same. But you can see that this head is about as big as this table. It's kind of balanced out. So the artist kind of balancing this out and that out. And then it's balancing out the chair with the computer probably over here, and make it, even though it's smaller, but it's more intense in color, the intensity. So it's kind of competing with this. So it's a really nice balance and movement and flow of line composition wise. There's a lot of interesting things going on here. All right, let's just go ahead and draw a lot of technicalities, but let's keep it simple. Let's just draw this. This is actually a simple drawing, but here we go. I'm going to screenshot it and put it in the chat. Here we go. Let's AI at its best. Yeah, that's right. Ooh, AI. There's a yeah, it's definitely something I've been following. I have my own actually even on our was there something else I was going to share? I don't know. Let's put this in the chat first though. Where's the chat? Here it is. I'm going to copy this. So if you want to copy this straight, there it is, captured and in the chat. All right, let's jump to this. All right. Sketchbook heroes, sketchbook warriors. Here's the battle. There we go. Let's zoom out. Zoom, zoom, zoom. We can probably even share if you want to share your neurographic art. All right, let's grab a fresh sheet of paper. Mr. Ramirez, we miss you. All right, he would always say that. All right, here we go. Let's see. Let's do our squares. So that's actually, here we go. You can actually, it's not quite the same length of the paper. Am I hiding it? Yes, I am. Let's zoom out some more. That's as far as it goes, unless I move my camera. Yeah, because the ratio of the paper is actually longer. So it's actually a little bit more stunted. So if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna, it's not quite a square, but it's a little bit longer than a square. There we go. So I would probably say something like that. That's good. Then I'm gonna divide that in half. We're gonna eyeball it, try to find the middle of this line, find that middle, and then just light sketch, another light sketch. And they should be rectangles. These all should be rectangles. I think probably a little bit lower. And it's okay if it's sketchy like this. You gotta not worry about it not being perfect. You just gotta know, okay, it's gonna be this line. It's one of these lines in there. All right, cool. And sometimes people, oh, it's messy, but it's a good way to draw, a good way to start. It's just sketching. All right, we got our base in. Let's get the rest in. All right, so we got a circle up here. This is about in here is where the brain is going to be. These are the big shapes. I'm just blocking everything in. There's going to be one big shape right there. That one eye is going to be right about there. The brain is going to be right there. The eye is going to be right there. And then the other eye that's behind is going to be right here. And that one's a circle. That was a circle. And notice all the scribbles, but I'm doing it really lightly. I'm doing it really lightly. And then afterwards, I can go darker. I can put another sheet of paper on it. There it is. There's, oh, it's probably a little bit bigger, a little bit wider. I can see because there's more space here. It should be a little bit, probably a little bigger. I'm seeing this space right in here. But I did definitely start off with that circle where the brain is going to be. That brain is going to be, and actually the brain actually comes out a little further out than my circle. Because actually the brain goes out. Oh, but I'm representing it with that circle. So I'm just blocking stuff in. Say no to smoking. Quick, here's another PSA, public service announcement. Yeah, your health is so important. Take care of yourselves, people. All right, so
yeah, I say we leave the cigarette out.
Okay, yes. All right, the feet, Ellen's in the house. All right, the feet, look at, I can see the feet in this oval shape right in here and kind of like, let me see that angle. But I'm just blocking everything in. It's good to kind of block things in, kind of say, okay, this is where this is at, this is where this is at. And it's like a puzzle. Every drawing is a puzzle. You're putting this puzzle together, just kind of just almost like putting all the big pieces. I don't know if you've ever made puzzles like, okay, all these puzzles have the same color, so you're kind of putting them all together. So that's what I'm kind of doing right here. I'm just getting the big picture, right? Kind of getting where everything kind of goes. And then putting those puzzle pieces there. And here's another piece, this the monitor, this old school monitor. Oh my gosh. Oh man, that was one of the battles I had with the school district. I got this grant and I was like, okay, I want flat, oh, it's so upsetting. I want flat panels. And no, you can't have flat panels. Why not? No, because that's all we have right now. I'm like, you have to take these outdated big old console monitors. I'm like, oh, no way. I'm willing to wait. No, you have to spend that money. And I could only go through, it was, oh my God, I was so upset that we had these big old panels. And knowing that, I was at the bleeding edge of technology, the bleeding edge. Yeah. Plus the bleeding edge of friggin' the school district and bureaucracy. It wasn't the first time or the last time. It was just one of the ones that stood out. Definitely. And that's fighting the fight. And I'm sure many of you have to fight the fight out there. Sometimes you want things a certain way, or at your job, dealing with different things. See, I just dropped that down and just looking at how all these shapes kind of fit. I'm not, yeah, just, yeah, there we go. That's kind of it. That's kind of it blocked out. There's a chair. It kind of comes down to here, right there. All right. I'm going to go back and I'll zoom in. But I kind of blocked everything out where I kind of thought it kind of goes. It's best if however you do it, maybe even do it, draw this twice, looking at my drawing and then also looking at the actual drawing, go both ways. What's important is the process. Process. Here we go. All right, so now I've got everything kind of blocked out. I'm probably going to start off with this eye. And yeah, I like where it's at. I did drop it down a little bit. And let's see, because it's in the front. This is in the front. This is overlapping. This is the shape that's closest to us. And here it goes. We can actually even break this down into smaller squares. If you're having trouble, you can break this down into smaller squares. Notice I just went darker. Notice how that's darker, right? That is darker. All right, and I did stretch it out. I just squeeze it in. Maybe I squeeze it in too much, so I can still adjust it a little bit. And if you do add more squares, you do have more reference lines. So you got to know where you're at. Speaking of the lanes that you're in, got to know where you're at. If you need more help, add more lines. It's okay. But I'm not there to help you do that. So, I mean, you'd have to do it on your own. Let me see if I were to do that. Yeah, because I haven't seen this eye actually goes out. Might even, yeah, it does. Goes out a little bit more. That's okay. That's okay. We're just going to do it. It doesn't have to be exact. But these squares really help just with placement. It's really hard to see space when there's nothing to relate it to. And the squares give you a good start. There we go. This one was like a circle that's behind this other circle. Notice how it's smaller. Here, once you have one shape, that's one shape. Once you add a second shape, then you're talking about proportions. We can actually make the other size. It is smaller than this one, right? It is smaller. Notice how it overlaps right there. And and then you have the pupils. All right, so I'm going to do the pupils inside there. I'm going to kind of dark and I kind of have the feel and I know that it's where I want it to be. You go light until you feel it's right, then you go dark. So I feel it there. And I'm happy with where it's at. So a little more overlapping or underlapping. This is the pupil that goes underneath right in here. There's some overlapping. There's that one. And then the other one kind of coming in through here and coming out a little bit more like that. Oh, we even had a bomber on Tuesday. Oh my gosh. And I didn't have my buttons ready. See, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my keyboard set up. I think there's a way to do it where I can really quickly shut people down, like have a button. But we hadn't gotten a bomber in a while. All right, there's our eyes. We're going to do the pupil part, the dark part. It's interesting that the artist put a highlight right inside that. So there's the pupil part, the dark part. This is all the light that's around us. It goes through here. What we see, it's amazing. Our vision and our eyes and how they work, and the whole see the world around us. Right there's that eye highlight. I kind of put it to the side a little bit. Yeah, they have it to the side as well. That's all good. There's that one. And then I'll do the other one. Same thing inside. And then ready. Just actually, I'm just going to go smaller and smaller until I get to the highlight. The highlights. There it is, a little highlight. There we go. I got my eyes in. Got my eyes on you. And there's a lot of little detail, a lot of little veins and stuff. I'm not going to worry about those. That's all detail. Detail can go last. You can go back with the detail. But that's the process. You're going to see the big shapes first, and then the little shapes, and then little shapes. I used to start off with just the detail, and then my drawings would be all out of proportion. But they'd be really good. I observed and really, and I see that in a lot of people's work. They do a great job of observing, but they get lost in the drawing, and their proportions are off or the scale is off, and that's okay. It really is okay. It's not a big deal. Some people will. And you got to know what your purpose is. What are you trying to shoot for? Are you just observing? Then you did it. You did it, right? And you might have missed the proportions, but that can be fixed once you know, oh, I'm going to work on my proportions now. How big something is compared to something else, right? So here's the brain, and here's the brain on eyes. There's the brain on the eyes. This is the medulla, the corpus callosum, and the cortex, all the brain parts. I love brain. It's amazing. And they've found brain stuff all over your body. It's not just in the brain actually that does the thinking. It's pretty wild. The gut feeling. You do have actual sensors in the gut, which is interesting. So I've heard. Yeah, I think it was yeah. There's this podcaster Uberman Labs, something like that. All right, I'm doing very general lines, just kind of getting the general lines and general shapes. There's kind of like all these shapes in here. I kind of broke it down into those lines there, and there's a lot of detail in there. So I guess, yeah, all the detail. There's like a W right in here. I'm just scribbling it lightly. And then all these little wiggle patterns right in there. And even the outside, I made it smooth, but it is wrinkly. It is wrinkly. So there's a lot of detail in there that I've really smoothed out and kind of simplified. And then the shape right here, the medulla. I think that's the medulla. I think it's called the medulla. I don't know if somebody wants to check. Double check. Then underneath that is like a little cap. And notice my neck is a little bit off, which is fine. I'm going to bring this over. This is where I had it. But now I have it here. So it's going to be moved over like a little puzzle piece. And that goes into the shoulders. Wow, this is actually a little more harder. It's a little more advanced than beginner. But it's simple drawings. All right, the hands. Here we go. The hands are going to kind of fit in here. Let's put the hands in there. They didn't put a shape for the hands. But the hands are kind of like a triangular shape, actually. And they're in this space right in here, this triangle. I see this triangle shape. I see I've simplified it so much to where I can see this triangle shape. Look at that triangle shape. And it's above the keyboard. So I might have to bring the table down a little bit. But you see, if you could see this and go back and forth, you know, this is like the papa shape. Then the mama shape would be, here's the palm, which is just like a circle. and then all the fingers that kind of come off of that, right? So it'd be like that. That kind of curves onto the body. The body curves back into the seat and then up into the feet. I'm a poet and I don't know it. So it curves back, this whole spine, it curves back up and then up into the knees, up knees. There's like knees up in here and then down to the feet. And then the feet, I can see there's the, the ankle and the base of the foot, which I'm working out on. I'm sure it has a name, the ball of the foot. And it comes down and about that shape. That's kind of the big shape. There's details and stuff, a lot of stuff in there. Oops, a lot of detail and stuff in there. But I'll go in there later. I'm really close up. You can see the size of my pencil. Let's, there we go. All right, let's continue here. Yeah, there's a lot of detail in that brain. All right, here we go. It's a complex thing. Yep. Neuroscience. Uberman Labs. Yeah, he's into the neuroscience. All right, so these two lines are parallel, so I'm trying to get them parallel, and then we have a little bit of a bump like into the shoulder, and that goes onto this line that I already kind of sketched in, and then that goes into the hand. Yeah. Top to the hand. There we go. That's what I usually do when I have. No, I'm just kidding. Feeling silly. You guys got me in a good mood. Everybody's showing their work, and it was really, thank you. I really appreciate that. It's the best like birthday present I could ask for. It's just that positivity and people, seeing people's growth and people saying, "Hey, I learned this. I'm improving." It's about the progress. It really is. It's not about perfection. It's that progress and doing it, and taking that step. All right, let's do that. And if you need to focus on hands for a while, hey, you got to focus on hands. If you're struggling with something, that's what makes you a warrior. Like, okay, you're not going to get it. You're not going to, I can't draw hands until you practice. You can't do anything. You got to practice. You got to, and study too, not just practice, because you can also go in circles. Like right now, I'm just drawing the hand without explaining it, because I think knowing the process is more important. But there's parts, knowing how the parts fit and how they, the proportions of the hand. There's one hand right there and the overlapping of the parts. There's a lot of videos out there. If you know what you're struggling with, you got to just take it on. Say, hey, I'm having trouble with this. Google it or chat GP it. Yeah, chat GPT. If you haven't tried it, yeah, you got to try it. Don't be scared. Yeah, it's best to know the enemy. Well, that's what they're saying. I don't know. There's a lot of thoughts. If you do, actually, if you want to learn more about that, ask questions, especially on Tuesdays. Tuesdays, it definitely will take on more questions and that's what I really want it to be, as a format of what questions you have, being curious and asking questions. That's why I call it kind of a mind what do I call that class on Tuesdays? It's the mind
stream.
Mind stream. Yeah, it's a mind stream, but it's there's another word. There's a group. I think some kind of group. Oh well. Yeah, there it is.
Mastermind.
Yes, mastermind. That's the kind of mind. Mastermind group. Yeah, because the mastermind group. That's what it is. Thank you. The mastermind group. So yeah, mastermind group where people ask questions, work together to try to figure stuff out. Being curious and sharing what you learn, just like people shared. And that's the thing. Oh, I learned about this or whatever. Our focus right now is caricature drawing caricatures. There we go. Here's the body kind of curving like that. It curves up to a knee. Yeah, and we can all learn together, because I don't know everything. I mean, the AI stuff is so new. There's so much stuff out there. I've got a website that I've been putting together, so I can put it in the chat right now. Ooh, and I should, oh, you know what? I should link my AI to that website for right now until I create my, I'd like to actually create it. That's one of my ideas. I have so many ideas. All right. Whew, let's jump topic. Here we go. There's a circle for this toe. So I see that circle toe and then all these other little toes in here like this. So I'm going back and forth, just like with my talking. And I'm seeing how all these little, now you see these shapes inside the shape and how it all kind of fits like a little puzzle, right? So, and then the detail here. There's 3 little toes here. This one, this little piggy right here went to market. And this little piggy, I don't know, this little piggy stayed home. And this little piggy right here went all the way to, my grandma would would grab us, and then she would, especially our big toe, she would pull on it, make it pop, and like, no, no, grandma. We were just kids. They're like 5. Just those memories that stick with you. All right, here we go. Let's see. My grandma. Here we go. A little bit of curve for the nail, and then it goes up and over. There we go. That's it. Not the greatest nail. It is a little bit wrong. It's okay. It's all good. It's not. Nobody's gonna compare it. And they'll say, "Oh, it looks good." It's good enough. Yeah, it's good enough. And sometimes you say, "Yeah, okay, it's good enough." Good enough is not good enough if it can be better. If it can be better, yeah, you know. But if it's the big if. If it can't, well, just it's all right. It depends on time too. You know, sometimes we want things to be perfect and it just takes longer. So you're not really, I mean, if you encounter time, if you those few perfectionists out there like myself, you know, you have to realize time is also a factor, right? How fast can you do it? Because you know, in time, sometimes a perfectionist takes longer. And you know, you got to keep an eye on the time. Sometimes it doesn't matter. What's more important is learning and doing. That's more important. But then sometimes time is, especially in the society we live in, because time is money. That's so they say. All right, there's the seat. What I really like about the seat, it's a basic form here. Since there's a basic form, it's just it's a cylinder. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see that that shape there and that shape there. Look at that. It's one of our basic forms. The cylinder. If you don't know how to draw it, if you haven't practiced it, we'll have a video on that. Or if not, there's a lot of videos out there on drawing forms. Because then from here, you can do all kinds of stuff. You can make it into a spray can. You can make it into, I mean, the only limitation is your imagination. Make it into, somebody said, a trash can. When we were doing that, it could be a cake. You know, and this is where you're drawing from imagination. You know, it's like, oh, I know what, you know, I can start off with that basic building block. And then just go off on that. And instead of a spray can now, it's actually on a dish here. It's actually pretty cool. A smaller little cylinder there with smaller little cylinders up on top. Hey, happy birthday. We have the theme going. 22, my favorite number. That's, there we go. Tangent. All right. So here the base is, actually the bottom is, speaking of forms, is like an ellipse, and then there's a ball on top of it. So that's what's happening with that shape and form right there. That's what's kind of happening there. And then you've got, it tapers up to the top like that. So now if we draw this, bring it down and around, and then yeah, the bottom is flat. It's a little flatter. It's not straight across. There you go. There you go. And then you can use your imagination. This kind of really quickly reminded me of like a oil can. This thing could be an oil can, a tin can, tin man. All right. Whew. I think I might skip all the brain stuff. I'll do it really quick because I don't know. I don't like spending a lot of time. I feel like this is taking a lot of time, especially for a beginner. Our first drawing tonight. There's a lot of stuff happening here. All right, let's get that keyboard in there. The keyboard's going to fit. Let's bring that table down a little bit. Now I can go darker. See, I'm bringing that table down right there. This is that table, the top tabletop. Take it to the top, and throw me off. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate your efforts. It's all about the effort, really, and grade. I thought in grading, That was the most important grade, because you can get a high grade, but if you didn't put the effort, you weren't challenged. You weren't challenged. It's really that challenging yourself. Sometimes school can be easy for school is it's such a scam. Oh my God, I can't believe I said that. It is. I mean, oh my gosh, it's mass education, and you expecting everybody to be at the same pace, the same. Like right now, I probably can be going too slow for some people, too fast for others, and you get lost. You get lost, and we do. People fall between the cracks, and then if you miss something, but that's where one of my things. After I finish the drawing website, my other mission, my other life mission is to make knowledge, foundational knowledge like drawing, which is a foundational skill available to everybody, and everybody should be accountable. Everybody should know how to kind of at least sketch and know some of the basics. Know the basics. Everybody should know the basics. And if you don't know it, hey, don't say, hey, you don't know, like they do in school. Say, hey, let me teach you. Let me show you. Or, and we have more teachers, not just one teacher teaching everybody. We have everybody's a teacher and everybody's a learner, student. And when you teach stuff, you'll see that you actually even learn it at a deeper level. You learn it at a deeper level by repeating it, talking it through, and seeing what other people struggle with, and it's good to know the struggles. It's good to know, so you can say, hey, I struggled. It's you can appreciate all these shapes. Here we go. Let's see, we got a big shape here at this base, the base, and then you've got another shape, and then you've got a connector shape that kind of connects both of them at an angles. I don't know, there's a lot going on. I'm actually not doing a great job of my focus right now is not the shapes. I'm just doing it. I'm just talking about what's actually more important, really. It's this whole journey of learning and drawing in the brain and how it works, and it's fascinating. It really is fascinating how the brain works. One of my favorite topics. I could talk about it and the different things and things they've learned about the brain and how it works, and the left brain, right brain, how that stuff actually, there's different parts. It's really whole brain stuff. Now that they have, they can study it, they can actually see it. They can actually see what you're thinking. It's pretty wild, the new stuff that's out there. They can pretty accurately. It's pretty wild. All right, there we go. There's our computer. There's a lot of details I'm kind of skipping. But this little shape right in here, so a little square shape, rectangle. It's a rectangle. And you've got this shape right here, the chord that goes from here to there, more or less. All right. If you're working on your neurographic art, that's great. You don't have to do this. You can just work on that. But these shapes, once you get your shapes in, they're good to practice also shade. They're going back and forth, hatching. Get a little bit of shade values just for practice. But not important. This is the icing on the cake to make it look nicer. Give it some, right? And it's good practice too. This is not the important lesson, but there it is. Quick little shade. And then there's hatching lines up here. There's 1, 2, 3. They get about like that. I think there's 2 on the bottom, like that. Just little textures, little lines. Man, let's get to that brain. And there's a lot of stuff going on in that brain. We could keep it like that. Let me see. There's like an E right in here. It looks like there's an E. There's like an E shape. This looks like a J almost right in here. J. But I'm doing it really lightly. This looks like a letter H. This looks like a W over here. Saw. Looks like a W. Sometimes you have to see that. Oh, and this up here just goes back and forth after the E. Actually, all this from the E, it just goes back and forth, like W's or something. All right, so see how I just did that E? I'm actually just looking at the center of it. Now I can go around that E. See, around the E. And then I think it just goes back and forth all the way up, like all the way up in this space right in there. Boom, see? Boom, boom, back and forth, filling it in. But we have the structure, the overall structure of the head. Now we're just putting the details on it and little wrinkles back and forth. This is more of an intermediate. So if you're getting a like, oh my gosh, yeah, this is not beginner. But we are going to close down this beginner class eventually once I have my website up. We'll kind of, yeah, and I have kind of been doing a little more advanced stuff sometimes. So I know I lose people. But once the course is up, what's going to be important are your questions, curiosity, and hey, how did you do this? What is that? And then struggling with it and figuring it out. And what do you mean by it? What's symmetry? What is this? What is that? And then you just ask, and there's no dumb questions, they say. There really isn't. It's better to be a fool for a second than a fool for life. Gotta be curious, ask questions. How does this work? What does that do? What do you mean shape? What is form? What is space? What is time? What is you can get lost in questions too. So it's a balance. You gotta find the balance. Use the force. Where's my M? I lost my M. That's all right. I was just back and forth mostly. Up in here. Up in here. There we go. Little brain. There we go. That's and there's some kind of like here that division right there. There's my division. And that division just kind of goes, actually kind of echoes the shapes that are up there as it divides this space for some reason. I actually, when I see a brain, it reminds me of like, I see this as there's like a knee right here. I don't know, like somebody in the fetal position. Kind of interesting. When I see the brain, I kind of I use my imagination on it. And this would be like a knee in somebody's back. Probably goes up a little bit more. I can bring it up without even, see, I just made it a little bit higher. A little more wrinkles, a little more little tubes. That's all this detail. The tail, the detail, the tail goes at the end, just like on a tail is at the end. Detail, that is detail. Oh, there's a W. There's my W. I can see it, and I can just go around it. See, little roadster, going pretty quick. I am picking up speed, so do the best you can. Because that's all you can do. You can just do your best, and then just do your best until you know better. And then when you know better, you'll do better. Maya Angelou. Here we go. And then a little bit the medulla. I believe it's the medulla. I don't know. Let me check the chat. Did somebody do the research? Chat GPT. Here we go. Nope. Gotta go. All right, Pearl. See you next week. Happy birthday. Thank you. All right.
I think it might be the cerebellum.
Oh, yes, the cerebellum. Yes, you're right. Yes, I think it is. You're right. It is a cerebellum. Da, 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 da. All right. Here we go. I think that's it. I think, oh yeah. All right. Any questions on that? Anybody want to share their neurographic art? If you worked on that, that's great. Speaking of the brain. If not, we can move on to the next drawing. Let's jump on next. All right, let's see. Ooh. Speaking of, this one's actually pretty cool. Oh, there we go again. Here we go again. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, on my website. Oh yeah, the AI stuff. So let me go to Brain Tools, PBWorks. Oh, there it is, AI. This is my AI. It has a lot of links, a lot of stuff, and there's even more stuff that I've seen. But this is a really good intro on what it is, the creative revolution, the future of art. It's like 2 hours long. I've seen all these videos. I'll put this in the chat. Oh, that's my own little notes webpage, wiki site. Where's the chat? That's if you're interested. If you're not, that's okay. But I am. This is stuff that I'm interested in, all the AI stuff and all the stuff that's coming. It's definitely going to be changing the world. It is. It is life-changing. Yeah, prompts, all this stuff, really interesting stuff. So yeah, just like I like seeing your drawings, I'd love to see if you're working with this stuff and doing stuff with this. And definitely Tuesdays will be it. Right now we're focusing on caricatures, but we can talk about AI stuff. All right. Did I lose my drawings? Beginner tonight, May 18th. Yep. There we go. Yeah, I was looking for something. What else did I want to show on my Brain Tools website? Oh yeah, I do remember. The Fibonacci. The Fibonacci. So if we do a search for Fibonacci, oh man, it's not coming up. Fibonacci. Let's check inside. Fibonacci. I know it's under patterns. It's on my pattern page because I have patterns. Patterns right there. I have a patterns page. And it's, I don't know if it's going to be on here somewhere. Fibonacci, all these patterns. Again, these are my notes wiki. It's about patterns, rules, practice. Where is it at? Oh, look
I
at
saw
that.
the Fibonacci further up.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Fibonacci. I know it's got so much rhythm,
Like
probably.
right around, like feel higher. Right here. Exploratum pattern Fibonacci. Is that the one you were looking for?
Where is that? Here's my
The
mouse.
Art of John Edmark talk by
Oh,
Paul Dance Exploratum
yeah.
pattern.
No, that's not it. That's not it. But
Oh.
yes, let's talk about the Fibonacci right there. Here's Fibonacci again. Oh, the Mandelbrot set. Now, let me see. No, it's a really cool Fibonacci video, Fibonacci animation. Fibonacci. There it is. Fibonacci sequence let me see, sequence video. Fibonacci animation video. There's a video that's really awesome. I showed it one time. This is it. Short animations. Yeah. This is 1 minute. It's really, I think this is it. No, it's not it. That just shows it. Let me see if I can find it. I'll try one more video if I find it. I think it's this one. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, this is it. I'm pretty sure this is it. I'm just so part of it. Yeah, this is it. All the music's amazing too. Let me see. I'll just show like a quick minute of it. That's okay. Yeah, you can see the numbers. See where the way the numbers added up, each one adds to the next one, and seeing these patterns. Yeah, there you go. How it adds. There's the spiral. And the sequences in nature everywhere. Even your ear kind of has this shape. This is an old video. I mean, my favorite part is right there. That one. I hope Google doesn't pull my video. It might. And you'll see it. It's actually pretty cool. I'm pretty sure I have that video on my website. It's on there somewhere. And I'll put that in the chat as well. Copy. It's really cool if you want to see the whole thing. All right. We're here to draw. What are we drawing tonight? Here we go. What's next? Here we go. Ooh, that parrot. And there's that sequence as well too. Kind of it's a flamingo, I believe. The golden ratio. Yep. Here's the golden ratio again. There's another one. Not sure what we're going to draw here from that. There's the brain. There's your brain on farm. This one. We'll draw this one. All right, so we're going to draw this. This is form. There's a lot of shading and a lot of stuff going on. Angles. Ooh, she left. But she's studying, she's focusing on perspective. And there is a perspective here. Let me see, it goes up. If we follow these lines, even though there's curves to them, there's a little bit of curve because the book curves. It's not a solid block. But yeah, up there is above my screen is where there would be a vanishing point. Let's see, follow this line over here, this line here. These lines would connect. I mean, you can see how, once you see how they extend, they would connect. And this is angles in Wrap to Draw. Angles, looking at for the angles. Just using your imagination, these angles do connect. You can see as I line it up there, you can see how it's closer up here and here it's further apart. So as things go back in space, they get smaller. Here's this. These are probably really close to being parallel because it's kind of, we're facing it. And this is also really close to being parallel because we're facing it. The angles, there's a slight angle up, a slight angle down. All these books, there you go. Well, what's interesting here is that there's overlapping books. This underneath has to continue from one side to the other. A lot of times when you're drawing stuff like this, people don't continue that lines, and that line behind there is off. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and just draw this straight. We'll draw this straight. No, I can put it in the chat, but I'm just going to draw it straight. A simple drawing from this. Keep it simple. Keep it simple, silly. Keep it simple, student. My teacher would say. I wish he was my high school teacher, but he was not till later. A shout out to Mr. Oh yeah, we'll do these after. We'll do these after real quick, and then I don't know if anybody wants to do a landscape. We can actually do a quick sketch of that as well. Oh, look at that one. I think did somebody just upload this one? May 18th? Yeah, somebody just uploaded that today. Alan.
Yeah, well, when you were talking about practicing drawing hands,
Oh yeah.
this little kid in this book had trouble with hands, and he kept practicing and practicing.
Oh, that's awesome. The Man in the Ceiling. Oh, Michelangelo. I don't know. I don't know. It might be referring to Michelangelo, but then I see the artwork is not.
It's referring to his strange comic strip.
Yeah.
Or his comic book, whatever he's drawing.
That's cool. All right. Oh, and we're back. All right. So that's it for tonight. We'll end with, I guess, a landscape.
I did add one other one. If you keep scrolling, you might find the other one I added.
Oh, you added another, or maybe refresh it. Wait, we'll draw this cup, that one. We'll draw that one right now. We'll draw these afterwards. I'll sketch them up pretty fast. Maybe even that, yeah, my dad liked that hummingbird. He would feed the hummingbirds. There we go. And you added another one. Let's see it. And I just refreshed. Oh, cake.
There it is.
Thank you. And this
is your birthday today, Eladio?
No, it's the 22nd. It's on Monday, but yeah, well, I just brought it up. Oh, we didn't draw the brain. My favorite. All right, so let's just jump into this. Thank you. Cute. All right, so here we go. We're gonna draw that. Let's just do it. All right, here we go. All right. So I'm gonna block everything out, and then we're just gonna draw it. Now, see, I'm going to simplify it. We can spend all day just on this one drawing alone. If we really observe and see the reflections and see the shadows and learn to see everything that's there. There's so much, but you want to see the big stuff first and then the details, because you can get lost in this drawing. There's really a lot going on here. There's a lot of value. There's a lot of color. If you even get into coloring this, that would be amazing. But really quickly, I'm just going to sketch it out. I'm going to say, okay, here's the mug. It's really close to, it's a little bit like a circle cut off like that. That's what the shape I see, but I'm going to say, okay, my mug's going to be more or less there, a circle. Then we got books underneath it. Here's the main book, which crosses over probably right about there. It comes out a little bit, that one book underneath, and then another book underneath of that one. And then another book underneath that one at another angle. This angle is probably a little steeper this way. These are kind of facing us. They do drop a little bit. I mean, just so slightly. This one drops even more. And then we're back to straight again. Actually, that one is actually, yeah, really straight. Maybe even going up slightly. This big book that's at the bottom. There's a big book anchoring everything down at the bottom. Down here, probably about this big. I'm seeing how big it is compared to everything else. It's the relationship of all these shapes. There we go. That's it. So there we go. We got 3 books on top and then 1 big book on the bottom. And more or less, that's it. I've just blocked everything out. I can even get that little square of the T, little T thing. And noticing the angles, it's pretty square. It has the same height, same width. See, it's a square. So that's the big shape. We always go to Papa shape to the baby shapes. So there's the Papa shape, the baby shape, the mother shape, but actually it's a square with these little corners cut off. See, little corners cut off, and it's all that observing. that string that kind of comes down onto it. It curves around and then lands on top of it. All right. Let's zoom in and start doing it. Let's start drawing that mug. Let's do a mug of a mug. All right, so we've got our ellipse. Our ellipse up on top. There's an ellipse. See, and I just kind of just went around and around, got that ellipse. There is a thickness to it, but I scribbled it in. Let me see. Let's get that shape of that mug. It's pretty straight on the sides. It's actually straight. It's not a half a. It's not really a half a sphere. It's more of a capsule shape. There's a capsule. It's and a capsule shape really is a sphere that's stretched out. So what you do is you get your sphere, which is a ball, right? Like here, I'm gonna try to make this as much as I can into a ball. Oh, that didn't work too well. Where's my clay at? I do have some clay. Ah, there's my clay. This is my kneaded eraser. Here's my clay. Here, now let me do it with my clay, so you get the idea. So it's a ball. Let's see, I'm rolling it. I'm just basically rolling the piece of clay till it's a ball. There we go. That's better. See, there's the ball. So there's a circle, and all it is a capsule is just going back and forth, stretching it out like that. See, that's like a capsule shape. See, there's that capsule shape. But it started off with that sphere, and then you just cut that, and that's how you get that half a capsule for that cup of tea. And you see these shapes, you'll see them again and again. Once you master them, you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to use that shape. I'm going to use that form. But again, when you're first learning, you're going through that meadow and you don't know the path. But once you see the path, it's like, oh, there it is. That's what that is. And then it's easy. And it's like just like Enoch. Oh, it's easy. It's simple. It's simple. It's all relative. It's easy if you know. Even flying a plane is easy if you know how. I mean, everything's easy if you know how. But if you don't, it feels impossible. But it's crossing that divide. It's crossing that divide that, you know, it really is. But once you cross over, it's like, oh, I don't know why I was struggling so much. I don't know why I was having a hard time. All right, here we go. Let's put that handle on here. Get a handle on it. See a little curve, and I can see that circle in there, and I can see this is what I see. I see that circle, and I see how it's attached. And that's how my brain kind of works. I kind of see all the parts and the hole and the hole and the parts and go back and forth from the big shapes to the small shapes. You should be able to focus like that. And sometimes you might just focus on the big shapes and practice that. And then you focus on the middle size shapes. You don't have to always get into all this detail. You can get lost in this detail. I mean, we can really spend time and see there's a shadow in here on this shape on the handle, and really see there's a reflected light, there's bouncing light. But all that stuff I won't get into right now because we'll be here all night. I'll be here all night. Yeah, if we get all this stuff that's going on in this picture, it's really cool. And then if you go to the other picture, it's just really simple. It was a cartoon, a simple cartoon. And I'm shading as I go along. I'm putting the icing on this cake. Yeah, don't worry about the icing. You want to worry about the form, the structure, all the detail. I wouldn't worry about it. This thread actually comes out over here on this side. It's coming from here. See, I'm just moving it over. And it's light. It's a white thread, but I can draw it dark, or if I want to draw it light, I would have to shade around it. So I would shade around it to create it as light. So that's it. Or get an eraser, shade it all, and then get an eraser, erase that line in. But it's all good. You get the idea. All right, let's continue drawing and observing and seeing what we draw. We can keep it simple, or we can really see what's there. Notice the thickness of this mug. Notice the thickness of this cup, of this teacup. It's not a mug, it's a teacup, I believe. So trying to be specific. And you see a little bit of the drink inside. And that is actually an echo of this shape on top. This curve up on top, it's an echo of that. You want to see how it curves? That's just an echo of that down here. Just like that echo. See, it kind of goes parallel with that up there. And that's the drink inside. And you can shade it. It's got a little bit of a highlight or a reflection up there if you want to try to keep that. There's the drink, a drink. Yeah, there's a lot of reflections and stuff in this cup, which is pretty cool. But or you can just shade it all in just like that if you need to. And then it comes down to shadow, right? Occlusion shadow. And it's really soft shadow. It's really soft. And that would be like an oval shape, all the shadow shape. But I'm not worrying about that too much. Here we go. That's pretty good. I think that's not too shabby. Not too shabby. You got to practice drawing these ellipses. Once you get it, because they're everywhere. I mean, you'll see them. These are ellipses. It's just getting a circle and stretching it out. That's all it is. It's a circle stretched out. Because even looking at this straight up on top, it's a circle, and then it's just sliced at an angle, but it's still a circle. Dun, dun, dun. A circle at an angle, an ellipse. Ellipse. All right. Here we go. Let's draw that first book that's underneath the book. I can see the space. I drop how far down I need to go. Right about there. And let me see the angle. Is it going up or is it going down? It looks like it's pretty close to being straight. I need to see that. It looks like it's slightly going up to down. It's really slightly, I believe, yeah, going up to down. All these books, that's right, going up to down. So there's a slight downward angle from left to right. It's really slight. If you go straight across, that's fine. It's not a big deal, but it's good to try to observe. I can see that the book actually comes down from the handle or start right underneath it. This is where it starts, comes out just a little bit in relation to that handle, and then it just comes down. And this line is pretty close to being straight up and down or vertical. Right in there. There we go. There's that top of that book. This one has an angle. This angle is a little steeper. That's a little steeper on this angle. It's a little steeper, but it's a keeper. Right in there. Oh, there. Yeah, it's all about the angles. It's really observing and seeing these angles and getting the feel. Your angles might be off, but that's okay. That's the struggle right there. That's where some people quit. Oh, I'm not getting it. Yeah, they want everything easy all the time. Like here, I can see this is too high. I'm going to have to bring this down, especially if that's the size of this book here. Look at that there. This little tea bag should probably be a little bit shorter, lower, a little bit lower if I want to shoot for accuracy. But I want you to notice the angles don't change. It's just the position. See the angles. Once you see an angle, the angle's still the same. It's just dropped down now. Drop down, drop it down. There we go. That's good. Try to shoot for some accuracy. There we go. That's that book right in there. That's that book. First book. Our first book. First book done. And it's this side shaded. And there's a lot of detail on it, which we can break down as well. Once we see this big shape, then you can break it down. There's like a square shape in here, and then designs. But you see, you have to decide where you draw the line, where you want to simplify it or spend all day and night getting all that delicious detail because it's fun. I mean, trying to get it. That could be fun or it could be frustrating. Oh, that's the balance. Is it fun or is it frustrating? You got to find that balance. That's the road, right? If it's fun, okay, it's fun. If it's not fun, you could be bored or you could be frustrated. It's that other one, yeah, fun or frustration. It's a fine line. It's not actually not even a fine line. It's a wide road. I would say it's a wide road. And you got to find your lane in it. It's also my thing was complacency. Where are you happy? Complacent. You're right. You're complacent. Oh, that's good enough. Complacency or perfection. And that's another wide road. Are you complacent? Sometimes we get too complacent. We're like, that's the way things are. And that's even learned helplessness. Look that up. That's how the brain works. Learned helplessness. You say, oh, okay. Man, I just saw a movie on that. It was pretty wild. And I knew all the psychology behind it. And they were, what movie was it? I just saw it recently. Pretty wild. Wild. Oh, that's what it was. It was oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, my friend, we were, since we went to Washington and Yeah, that was the week I took off. Yeah, we watched a movie on the CIA, and they were doing and it was based on a real. It was based on the stuff that they were doing, the torture and stuff. It's pretty cool. It's pretty wild. But yeah, it was based on I can't remember the psychologist's name, but yeah, learned helplessness, where they would shock these dogs, shock and awe. They would shock the dogs. They would put them in a cage, and they would shock only one side and the dogs would move to the other side, and then they'd shock the other side and the dogs would move to the other side, and then they started shocking both sides and the dog just gave up. He was just like, okay, wherever I move I just get shocked, doesn't matter what I do, and it's just becomes complacent, and they would just shock one side and the dog still wouldn't move. It's like, oh, so what, whatever. Complacent. We just also learned helplessness. There's my little tea bag thing. I'm not really shooting for super accuracy. We'd be here all night, but just getting the feel of it, the shape of it. Still, this line's kind of coming down. Same thing with this top one, slightly down. If you're going straight across, that's fine. Trying to get this angle and the way it relates and how it fits around this book up on top. See, this line's going straight across. This is going at a steeper angle than even that one that's above it. This is a good angle exercise. Angles. Not a drop to drink. And this one's at a slight angle as well. Not as steep as this one because they do meet. These two lines do meet back up here in space. You can see a little glimpse of the thickness of that book on one side. I kind of just added that. And probably should have been bigger or this smaller, but they're about there. Yeah, this actually, yeah, it's all good. I'll just keep it right there. I'm not going to erase it, but this actually should be bigger and resting at on the below this book here. Now we can do contrast. I mean, there's a lot of little things here, little things we're talking about, just doing this little exercise, simple drawing. We're talking about contrast. And what I mean about contrast is there's a pattern of light and dark. The top of the book is light, and then here, this is dark. The top of this book is light, and then again, it goes to dark, right? There's this patterns of light and dark, and that you have to create this contrast that makes the drawing pop, really makes the drawing pop, because you have light, dark, with a shadow here, and then light, dark, light. It's a pattern of light and dark. Seeing that, and even here it goes darker. This other rectangle, this rectangle right about there. This is what I find fun. It's drawing is like puzzles, you know, all these pieces going together. Then you finish your puzzle. It's like, yeah, look at that. I put all those pieces together, 1,000 pieces. Like my first puzzle, I was like, oh my gosh. First puzzle took, I was so proud of myself. It took me like 6 months to put the puzzle together. And on the box, it said 4 to 6 years. Let that one sink in. That's supposed to be a joke. So let me say it again. in that frame of mind. So it took me 6 months to do this puzzle. And on the box, it said 4 to 6 years. So I was pretty proud.
Is there any truth in this story? Did you really do a puzzle?
I do puzzles, but no, there's no truth in it. It's a joke because it's supposed to be 4 to 6 years old.
Yeah.
On the box.
Got it.
Yeah.
I got it before you started explaining, but it did take me a couple minutes to, well, not a couple minutes, but
that's
good, because I thought you were really doing a puzzle in part of this story.
Yeah, me too. Now I'm getting it.
Yeah, that's I said it as a matter of fact. That's why you have to be in kind of in that frame of mind. I'm like, oh, it's a joke. Oh, okay. Then you turn your joke brain cells on. Yeah.
Puzzle I did took me 1.5 years. Partially because the puzzle was in French.
Ooh, la la.
It was a street map of Paris.
Ooh, Anne Francois.
And partially because I was taking care of the parents, so there was a lot of not doing anything in between.
Yeah, puzzles are fun. They can get your mind off stuff because then you got your mind working on something. Yeah, that's games, and that's how I remember one of the books I read one time. It they talked about how they used games to get through war and hunger, and to get your minds off stuff. All right, as I just did this, like, oh, it's simple, but as I draw this rectangle here, I'm looking at the angles and looking at the relationship as I draw it in, how it relates to what's on there already, and this little triangle that's right in here, and how it overlaps underneath this book. So there's a lot going on with this little rectangle that I just put in as we were talking about puzzles. But I want you to notice that overlapping and notice the thickness of that. And then this angle here, how it comes out, and almost even see this shape that's right here. Actually, right in here, you can see the shape sticks out right there, and then this angle, and you can see this side of the book, this side of this book. It's like parallelogram, simplified, but the book cover has a thickness to it. There is a thickness to this book cover right there. See, even that light sketch makes that thickness, and then here's that bottom. And sometimes you'll just draw when you just start drawing. Okay, that's good. I like that bump, and you just do it. It's amazing. You just do it without thinking. It's like talking. It becomes automatic. It's automatic. Sometimes you just say things, or you're driving somewhere, or you go somewhere, and all of a sudden you're there. It's automatic. It's your brain. It's really wild. Yeah, it's really wild. But at first, things are hard. Even learning to drive, and even learning to walk, learning anything, we just forget how hard things are. We want everything easy. Sometimes you got to take on those challenges. Challenge yourself. Stretch. Don't look at that. Bam. A little bit of a shadow underneath that here. Right here, I can push that. A little bit of shadow. So looking, and this is where I can really just start looking at stuff and observing and seeing how. Yeah, it's pretty wild. There's another little triangle. So this one probably comes out a little bit, but it's underneath that book coming down. Bring it up right in here, but we have to go across. It has to connect these as it goes underneath. And ooh, it doesn't go that far. Let's see, I went too far. I went too far. He went too far. Pablo Francisco this summer. Keanu Reeves. He went too far. All right. Here we go. This book is thicker in relationship to the other ones. So notice how wide it is. Bring it over all the way up to here. See, and that was off. But that could be the writing that's in there. The writing on that book. Bam. Angles. Bam. Thickness. Trying to get it parallel. Bring it down a little bit. Sketch it in. If it's a sketch, it's just a sketch. It doesn't have to be, or if you want it to be a drawing, a rendering is ultimate drawing. A rendering, you're really just really taking your time, really seeing everything, observing and capturing and matching and really seeing what's there. And here, like here's another rectangle right here with a little gold or silver trimming on there, and then it goes darker in here as well. And matching it, I could spend my time here and really capturing what I see, getting every single detail, but we'd be here all night long. Again, you got to know what your purpose is. Why are you doing this? You're doing it, to observe. You really want to get to that level now. Really, okay, I'm going to try to really capture every little dent on that piece of wood, every little fiber on the book, but yeah, you have to decide. But just a quick sketch. Quick sketches are good because it's just a quick study. You can actually study further too. What's light, darker. Like this book is darker on this side, but then it goes even darker. The different values, the value study goes even darker underneath. So I can go even darker. Push that pencil even darker. And that wood is lighter. I don't know. See the lights in the dark. I actually think that looks pretty good. I think that I'm pretty happy. I think just need to put a little bit of a shadow underneath this cup. A little bit more. See how we doing on time? It's 8:24, I believe. My clock's still off. I was looking at the iPad. I'm gonna get since mine was borrowed. Somebody wanted it more. I told the Apple guy, yeah, somebody wanted my iPad more than I did. Yeah, because so I'm gonna get a new one, but I'm gonna upgrade. But I won't get it till they said they might go on sale for teachers in June, end of June. So I'll just wait a month and get the Pro. The Pro. I had the iPad Air. I think it was called the Air. And that one's pretty good. Actually, I can probably get 3 for what I'm gonna get for the other one. But yeah, I definitely want to level up and do that. Get that Apple. There we go. So yeah, and probably even draw on it. Do a class on it. But I really want drawing to be accessible to everybody because it is. I mean, you can use anything to draw. You don't have to have special materials. Don't let things hold you back. I don't have the right materials. You got to do the best that you can with what you have. That's the whole point on materials. Don't hold yourself back. Just create, find a chocolate bar or whatever you need to do to draw and create. And there you go. There's our cup on books. Anything in the chat? No, I don't think I see anything in the chat. Oh, that's it. All right. We still got people hanging in there. Hardcore heroes. 3, 6, 9. Yeah, we got 10 people out here. Right. Plus myself. All right. What's next? All right. Ooh, we're going to draw people. Let's draw these people. Oh, this will be really quick. I already know which one we're going to do here. There we go. These people exercising. All right. I'll point some stuff out really quickly on anatomy that we've been doing. Am I sharing with the right screen? Oh, yeah. There you go. That one. The anatomic middle, right? The different proportions. And if you'll have to look at our videos, that's really important. You can see a head should fit from this head space. Let's see if I can annotate it. The size of the head here. Oh, I just drew it with that pencil. That's fine. See if I can grab it. Yeah, there we go. So there we go. The half of that is where the neck is, and it goes down to the breast, and then from there to here is to the belly button is the size of a head, and then that should be, yeah, more or less. But this is what's important from here to here, which if I stretch it out, that's because that's the middle. It should be the same. Let's see if it is down to the bottom, really close. And I can't turn. I wish I could turn that. If I turn it, it would definitely be a little bit more. But that's the anatomic middle, and that really helps with spacing because I remember sometimes I would do my legs too small or too long, but once you know where the middle should be. And if it's not there, let me see. Oh, here we go. We can do this. Oh, that'll change the angle. Yeah, there's that one. Oh, that's pretty cool. There. And then bring that down. Yeah, right about there. All right. So we'll draw these. Let's just jump to it. Throw it in the chat. Chat GPT. And we'll just, this will just be really quick. This will be really quick. Capture, I'll just draw these really quick. Good little exercise. A minute each. Yeah, probably a minute each. Let's do a minute each. Stop sharing. There we go. All right. I don't know which my approach is going to be, but I like on this first one, I kind of see like a triangle. The triangle. So sometimes I don't know when it comes to figures, I kind of sometimes I just start with the head and then just go off on it. But I can see this triangle on this one. You can see the angles of the feet there, and then I can see the torso. And actually, I'm even adding the torso to the side here. Torso, and then the angles of the arms, these stick figures. What's so cool about some of the technology, you can just draw a stick figure and then it'll make it into a real figure, or you can draw anything, even a bunny, and it'll make it into, it'll render funny. If you haven't seen any of this this technology, it is wild. It is wild. All right, so I'm happy with that, blocking in real quick. And then I can go in there and fix it up a little bit more. That hand, I can see the triangle of that hand. There, that triangle there. And yes.
You just said you could draw a stick figure and then AI will fill in the rest. Where do you do that?
Yes, it does that. There's even a website where it has stick figures. You move the stick figure around, and then you send that stick figure that you did by moving points around, like moving these points. I can move this hand up, and then the AI will do that figure.
What is where that happens?
What is the website? Let me see. There's this one guy who does it. Yeah, it's out there. Let me see. I can't remember his name. Yeah.
Is it a guy or is it AI that does it?
It's AI. It's AI, but there's this guy who explains it. He talks about all this stuff. It's on my website. Let me see. I can find it. Rain tools. There it is. All right. Let me see. It's this one guy. Yeah, because he's the one that. Yeah, it is amazing. Oh my gosh, the stuff that's coming out. I mean, I can just even do a search for AI stuff. It's even doing video now. They're doing
Bing Chat is an extraordinary tool.
No, it's not him.
Yes.
Let me see if I can find him. Yeah, I mean, you can just do search. I've just been watching these videos come up and up, and I'm following certain people that really have a good handle on it. There's Midjourney. There's AI animation. There's so much out there now. You can get inundated. Where is he at? Let's see. He's got like
or should I look up stick figure?
Yeah, that actually be good. Stick figure AI. Actually, probably even up here. Stickman. Yeah, so this would be stuff that we would be doing on Tuesday. AI image generator, stick figure drawing, black and white. Let me see. This art was generated with free AI art generator. Yeah, I don't know. Let me share my screen, I guess. So on your own, you could be drawing. This would be a subject matter for Tuesday night, but yeah, here we go. So this is how you can see these. But oh man, where is he at? I don't see this. Let me go back. Yeah, you can just type in AI stuff. It's all over the place. Post estimation. Is this it? Stick figures using AI. Yeah, there's so much stuff out there now. Oh yeah, look at it's something like this. But here, let me find his video. Let's go videos. Stickman AI learns to walk. Yeah. Say goodbye to stick figures. NVIDIA. Now, I've invested in that company, so I'm actually doing pretty good. Back in January. I actually started investing in NVIDIA a long time ago. If I would have held it instead of selling it, would have done really good. See person, simple person, how to draw person icon. No, it's not here. Let me see AI. Yeah, I'll have to find it.
Okay.
It's all right. Yeah, I'll have to, yeah. Probably for Tuesday. Is that him? No, that's not him. Yeah. I follow him, so let me see. Let's go to wonder if
it is amazing.
So his videos show up on my. He's got this beard and he's got a whole bunch of videos. There's an older gentleman. He kind of speaks with a German accent or Russian accent. I think it's German. Let's see. Might be. Let's go back to my AI site. Whoops, my brain tools that way. Let me see. Google's Dream X, ChatGPT. How to learn to code fast. Generate 3D shorts. Let's see if that's it. Oops. No, that's not. No, that's not it.
Salman tweeted that writing a really
No, that's not. I should know. No. He talks about Midjourney, so this it might be it. It's got this. No, he's got an interesting accent. Maybe what his last is. Oh, this one might be it.
How to get the
That's him.
shows in control net with Laura. Hello, my friends.
That's
How
him.
are you doing?
Yeah, look at gosh, this is AI. This image of him in the background is AI. Wait, I don't know.
The texture of the suit material.
He's really
When
good.
you compare it to the one specific,
And
you can
he
see here is that
can do different
these are the
poses.
methods. And still, the position of the head is very similar. But again,
He gets technical, but he's really good. Olivia, I didn't have it joined. Oh no, let's go here. Olivia Saricas. And let's see. Look at his videos. Look at all this stuff is AI. It's insane. Seg. I know he talked about it in one of these videos. Look at this one. This one, same thing. Look at these. This face. You draw that face in it. You get that face tracking. It's insane, and it's like all stick figures. And you can see these videos I've watched. I haven't watched them all. Again, oh, we were talking about the face. Look at that. 5 times better poses. He talks about poses. He talks about all this stuff. I think was it this one, lower control? Oh, that's the one we were just watching right now. Where is it at? There's a stick figure one here. I know he has one. I don't know if it's in the. I'll look for it. But yeah, you can. I'll put his YouTube channel in the chat. Copy. Yeah, his name is Saricas, I believe. Let me see. The top. Yeah, Olivio Saricas. There we go. Let's put that in the chat. Yeah, it's definitely a topic for Tuesday. There we go. All right, let's get back to drawing. A little sidetrack there. I'm going to draw these really quick. If you haven't drawn them already, I will draw them really quickly. Let's get going. All right, so I'm just going to sketch them out. All right, draw these characters. All right, let's finish this up. All right, here we go. There's the shoulders. Yeah, stick figures, and it'll fix it for you and everything. It's a nice little angle here, a change of direction on that shirt. The torso. The torso is solid, is a solid shape, and then the pelvis is a solid shape in the way it attaches itself to that. Then you've got the biceps, the deltoids, the shapes of the arms. The hand was broken down into a triangle, but then you can put all easy. Just put the thumb on there. I think I just lost somebody. Oh, thank you, gracias. This arm. Yeah, I'm just going to sketch it in. I'm not even, and then there's no, these are just fun to kind of do. We've talked about figure drawings. I'm not explaining, just do it. That was another movie. I watched actually a few movies recently, but the Air Jordan Air movie, that was pretty good. There's a change in the angle on the foot. Slight, and then the foot. Having the foot on there.
Can you zoom in so your person's bigger?
Sure.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Zoom in. Bam. And yeah, there we go. That should be it. Let me see. Should be able to do that. Well, eventually. Oh, at a push of a button. For my triangle, then I'm just getting these other shapes. That. Foot changes angle. This angle of this foot. All right. Put more of an angle on this head. I can push it down a little bit. That's good. That's good enough. All right, let's go to the next one. Next one. The next one, I can see actually, if I was just seeing it as a shape, I can see that the whole, she's lifting her leg. I can see this almost like what shape is that? Like a square, like I don't know. It's these angles here, it kind of curves like that, and then it's down on one foot, kind of like that. So I do see this shape. That's the shape I see right in there. And the head is going to be right about there. I'm going to block everything, and I'm going to go from then comes down. This leg goes up. This leg goes back. Her hand, her elbow is right about there. These landmarks I'm looking at. Right in there. Elbow right above it. And then the leg just comes down. And that's pretty much it. It looks like a tree right now. But let's go ahead and do it. Let's do this arm. I'm going to focus on this arm. This one arm here. This arm that kind of comes up here. That's the upper arm, and then the lower arm, which is above. Then it just opens up onto the foot. It opens up. Here's the foot right there, right at the top. Winnie. There's kind of like a triangular shape, that triangular wedge kind of shape. And we got this calf. That calf, the top part. Let's bring it back down. That knee. And a little bit of gluteus maximus right in there. And I can imagine this actually continue here because this shape, but it's all one shape. But I can kind of imagine that little, even if it's just a little bit of the glute. Then you can see the waist and then the back up to the shoulder. So you look distorted right now. There's the waist, here's the pelvis. Pants or shorts or whatever they are. There's all these other little wiggles, but I'm not getting them. But it does kind of like swoop like this. You can see that swoop shape. And then, yeah, the protuberance right there, breast. In there, just like that. And then, yeah, there's a cutoff because it's a, yes, the little blouse or little blouse shape. Right. Then her head sticks out. Here's the arm. Let me finish up this arm, I guess, on that side. And her face sticks out right in here. A little bit of a hair or a braid. And up and out. She's got like a bow cut or flat little bangs. And her nose, I don't know. It just cuts in and out. The mouth cuts in, then the nose cuts out really slightly. And did it in the wrong place. I should have left it as it was, flat. It's okay. I just let it go. It's a little funky. It's all good. It's all good. All right, just let it go. That's right. That's the way I wanted it. It's just a quick sketch. Yeah, if I took my time on it, yeah, I know it's all. I would do it. Now, you see, and this is where I can just like, all right, I didn't like the way it is. I'm gonna redo it right here on the side, just to study, just do it really quick while you're doing it. See, it's this shape there, and then the nose kind of goes out a little bit more, and then the mouth goes in. And there we go. Maybe bring down the chin a little bit. Yeah, that's that kind of simple face.
I don't really mean the following because I like things easy, but maybe you should have one class where you just do one complicated picture.
Yeah, the Tuesday's class. You want to do that? You want to choose the picture?
Oh no, I always like things easy. Besides, you said that you were going to spend the last two classes before your vacation on your book.
Well, no, actually, no, next month on the book. No, I can, yeah. Well, we'll
Wait,
see.
that just confused me. Okay, the book you used on Tuesday.
Oh, yes,
I
yes,
thought-
yes.
Okay.
No, you're right. You're right.
Oh, yeah.
The caricatures. Right.
Yes,
But
yeah.
yeah,
I'm sorry. I didn't mean your book.
right.
So, so,
No,
so
no, you're right.
do you want to continue as planned, or did you want to do a complicated picture?
Well, you just also said you want it simple too. I mean, we can,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, we can
Well,
continue. Yeah. The thing with the complex ones, they take a long time. Like the cup we did tonight,
Mhm.
we could spend more time on it, on the shading and all kinds of stuff, even color and talking about color. But that's really goes into detail. It's like reading the dictionary. People are gonna fall asleep unless they're really there at that level.
Oh, I
Right.
see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
there you were talking about, well, I thought you might like it. Besides, if I just put up things that I'd like, I'll still be doing very, very simple things.
Which is fine. That's fine. I mean, this is the beginner thing. And that's the thing, you got to know where your level's at. If we keep doing beginner thing, that's fine. I mean,
I'm not doing too bad on these more complicated things, but the beginning things are fun.
yeah, they're fun too, the cartoons. And that's what this night is about. All right, so I see this big triangle shape up here. This is simplifying it. I see this it's kind of like a triangle if it continued, but it's more like a trapezoid, I guess. And then you've got the torso, the head in here. I'm just sketching it in, just blocking everything kind of in. But I'm seeing this is on the outside because the arms go on the inside. But I'm seeing this whole kind of shape, the angles and the thing, each of the bedside shapes. This foot is at like a number 4, a slight angle down. And then this down here, down to there, the foot. And that should be the anatomic middle in here somewhere. So yeah, it looks like it's about the center. All right, so there we go. And just go ahead and draw. All right, you guys hanging in there. Even through the AI stuff. See, that's the thing, if you're not interested in AI, it's like, well, hopefully you're drawing. You just focus on what interests you. That's what
I have a
makes.
message that, well, Leanna suggested putting in shadows. You could probably put in a shadow with one of these people.
Yeah. We can put in shadows and stuff, but yeah, like I said, that's the icing on the cake. The icing, it's more, and the color, and we can color them too. We can do all that stuff. But that's I feel is secondary. I mean, when you get there, you can see, all right, let's color them. And if you want to add, I can talk about shadows and shading. But that's just like the icing. That's the next level. That's also Tuesday stuff. But we're focusing, I guess, these last Tuesdays on caricature. You're right, the book. But we can do something after. All right, here, let's go. It's all about questions too. It's like, oh, how would you do shadows? Where did things go?
Well, when you come back after your vacation, what are Tuesdays going to be for?
That's a good question. I think I don't know. We'll see. Tuesdays will still probably be advanced, or I don't know, whatever requests. I mean, it's like
Okay.
people who participate like yourself and help out. I'll take your requests. We can
Cool.
continue.
We started with faces and then portraits and then bodies. Well,
Yeah,
okay. So portraits, then figure drawing, then caricature.
right. That's exactly what.
So I thought you had a sort of
Something else.
system or plan for Tuesdays.
We can do animals. We can do. There's a lot of things we can do. We'll see. We'll see. I can put out some suggestions, or you can suggest something. I mean, it's better to draw what you're interested in. And we have people that are here that are we can actually even go into portraits again and get into a little more detail.
I'm
Right.
hoping next Thursday to put down what I want.
All right. There you go. Yeah. See, that's and I'm glad you do. There we go. So the hands, I can see, I can just make these ovals for the hands. And then that's the first step. And then on top of that, I can see that there's the hand, and then it's just a thumb in there. It's just a thumb. thumb shape. Not that accurate, but I did get the shape is pretty accurate. And the thumb sticks out on the inside and then comes up. See, there it is. There's that hand shape. And it just tapers. These arms just taper. Bring that up. These legs taper. Oh, is this the last one? Oh, is there one more figure? Let me see. Oh yeah, there's one more figure. I thought there was one more. After this one. The weight of this leg is all on the weight is on this leg right here. Let's bring it up. I think this is a little too wide for me. It's not one leg is wider than the other. It's all good. The calf, nice little curve on the calf, and it does curve on this side as well, but I like straightening it up just a little bit. The ankle, and here's that triangle for the foot. Triangle. There we go. All right, and then this feet are really interesting because you know it's basically just angles. Watching the angle that it comes out at. This foot comes out in space. And this is sideways. This is coming out, and this angle here, this angle here. Notice those angles. This one's straight. This one's coming out at this angle here. It's coming forward. Yeah, that one. And then this next one is sideways. All right, I'm gonna block it in. You see, I can block it in. Her knee is way up here. She's holding on to her knee. I'll squeeze her in. I'm gonna have to squeeze her in. The top of her head. She's actually taller than this other one as I see it compared to this one. If I were to use her as an angle, she is like taller. She's like probably way up here. And then her torso, pelvis, and then everything else just kind of comes down. I mean, there's her calves and stuff, but I'll just get everything in there. I'll get that calf in there right now, but I'm seeing her torso and her pelvis, and see the relationship of that and her head too. There's the head. There's the parts: the head, the torso, the pelvis, and then everything in relation to that. And just start sketching it all in. The thigh, and then the knee, and then the calf muscles, calf muscle, back. Down to that triangular foot, which is flat like that. Oh, right there. All right, now I blocked it kind of all in. I'm pretty happy with it. It did go a little bit lower, but I did bring her down to. Did I? No, she's bigger in relationship. She's a big girl, and she's got that hair. Let's see. Let's do the face. All right, so there's that her bangs. She bangs. Here we go. Her hair. That shape, really nice shape haircut here. Really like that angle and this angle here. That angle, and the way it tapers as it comes out. And then her face. This is the big shape. This is the shape of it, right? And then the nose is there. It's actually really slight. It's a really slight nose, very slight. And then the mouth, really slight in here, just slightly. And there. Like that. That's close enough. Like that. And bam, shade it all in. All right. I guess we'll do the landscape next, and then call it a night on this oldest I've ever been, youngest I'll ever be. Night. All right, so this angle, this arm, this upper arm, and then it switches angles slightly. And then there's the hand, and then the knee. Is it? Yeah, wow. Let me see. Torso. Going in there, making sure there's a torso on the back. I see it as it comes in, and then it goes out around the glute. See, bam. Let's see. That knee looks high, but that's the way it's at, I think. Knee. Let's draw that hand. Wrapping around the knee. Yeah, thank you for your suggestions, and that's how we improve. You know, I mean, I do take suggestions and comments seriously. That's always trying to. That's the thing. You want to look for your 1%. How can you improve? How can you make it better? I mean, nothing. You know, there's no such thing as perfect, but there's always progress. There's always different too. There's always, you know, sometimes you take a step back or take a step down, and you know. All right, here's the waist. Waist right there, down to the pants. Really nice shapes. That's another one too. Doing drawings with paper cutouts and cutting shapes, and because that's what this looks like. This would be a good exercise to cut this stuff out of paper and really see shapes. I think, oh yeah, that's one of my weaknesses was at once. Until I studied that and studied logos, that really logos have really solid shapes. It's like, wow, okay, how did they make that? How did they do that? And looking at logos like the Nike swoosh and see, you know, it's just that kind of like oval. Oh, I drew it out of that oval, and then that swoosh that's just added onto it. And that's just a shape. I think they just paid the girl $40 at first to do that. It's in the movie. It is in the movie, in that Ben Affleck movie. Alrighty. Oh, okay, that's it. Our figures are done. I think I can probably go a little bit more, but it all depends on how exacting you want to be. Sometimes you just want to do it loose, quick, and just let it go. Just practice, just really fast. Sometimes you want to really. There we go. There's our little characters. All right, all right. Anything in the chat? I don't know. Chat. Okay, so we're gonna do, I guess, a landscape. I think, is that it? That's a good idea. Let me see what is a good idea. An idea for a future lesson is to practice putting in shadows. Oh, all right, yeah, we can practice putting in shadows. Yeah, because that's definitely the next level. We can talk about form and shadows. We kind of did with the the shading here, the shadows. You can see a little bit of shadow work kind of happening with our teacup tonight. We did put in shadows. Yeah, put it in the, you know, when you submit pictures, submit the pictures and say, hey, and put it in the comment. You know, how are these shadows, or how would, or even if it's just something that's flat, add shadows to this. How would I add shadows to this? Ask the questions. You know, it could be even a mouse. I don't know, like a mouse. I'm looking at my mouse, my computer mouse, and then thinking about, you know, where's the light coming from, and shadows, or how serious about shadows and light. But what's more important is the structure. Yeah, the structure of it. The little mouse. Add little ears. All right. All right. Share my screen. Let's do this. Last drawing of the night. Thank you for joining us and hanging in there. Hardcore heroes tonight. All right. In here for 2 hours. It's close to 9. Where? Okay, here it goes. Let's close that picture. Move that over. Look at that. All this stuff. Oh my gosh. And it's just getting better and better. Oh, there he is again. No, these are all his videos. That's right. We're on his page. Wow, look at that. Your face, no training. Wow. That's wild. See, that's what I want to do. I want to do, and I own the website, TV, tvfamilyportraits.com. And I want to do all the famous TV. Look at Chibi style. That's so cool. Chibi style automatic. That's so cool. Local GPT, no GPU. Yeah, all these videos. Look at text to 3D. So you type it in, just amazing stuff. This guy's really good. All right, enough. See, I can get lost in that. Lost, land of the lost. Oh, I'll draw that real quick in memory of my dad. And then a landscape. I don't know. I have this landscape. Well, we can do this. I'm gonna just yeah, I'll do this really quick. And there's a lot of, yeah, it looks really, this would make a good puzzle. Actually, I was working on a puzzle like this. A lot of green. You would mix, like I said, the areas. You can see this big old triangle in here. Oh, something in the chat. Ah, thank you. Thank you, Kelly. All right. See you next week. Definitely. I will be here as we wind this month up. All right, look at this. And in green, look at this triangle. Look at that triangle. See these big shapes, the big shapes. Even see all this up and down. I can see this is simplified. Simplified. Depends on how we can simplify this into one line or two. You just got to make those decisions. Decisions. And see these trees here. I don't know. That triangle, this triangle here from this tree. And this whole mountain in the background. Bam. This road. The long and winding road that leads to you. There's a circle right in here. Never disappear. Long, long time ago. Don't leave me stand back here. All right, I like that. And we can actually break that down into fourths if you need that extra help. We'll do that right here. Bam. Bam, bam. Let's see. Let's click on it. Let's see where our fourths are. There's one right here and one up here, or one right here. That's the one I'll use. That one and that one.
Eladio,
Yes.
where would the horizon line be?
Ooh, good question. Yeah, the horizon line, it's back in here. It's back in here somewhere. Because whoever took this picture is up here. So when the horizon line, that's a great question. The horizon line, and I can put it in right now. Let me put in my guides first. There is that halfway point, and then the other one was, I forgot. It's around in here somewhere. I'll fix it if I need to. But yeah, the horizon, no, it's going to be a little more to the left. I'm eyeballing it right about there. Okay, I'll figure it out right now. So the horizon line, I would think, because you can see the mountains would go above the horizon line. And I'm looking at this, and we're definitely looking down. And so these are clues here. I can actually even, see these feet and line them up, like the back feet and the back feet. I'm assuming that the horizon line would be up here, up in here, the eye level. Because you don't see the horizon line, the eye level. The eye level would be up here somewhere. Maybe even, yeah, I would probably even say right about there. And we're looking down at this. Let me see. Yeah, you see all these trees coming down at this angle here. See, there is a vanishing point below us. There's a vanishing point below us. If you notice all these trees, these angles, notice these angles. See, they all go down to one point, to a vanishing point below us. And so they're kind of, the eye is the angle is tilted down slightly. But notice all these trees, assuming they're growing vertically. We're assuming, which I'm pretty sure they are. Sometimes they tilt because of erosion and other stuff. But you can kind of pretty much see that they look like they're all kind of coming down to the same vanishing point down below. That's really important too when you're drawing this stuff. So let's see. Other than the feet, I don't know what else we can use as clues. Oops, Blue's Clues. Let me see if I can select and delete. You'd have to zoom in and really see those feet. But yeah, that it would be up here. Definitely would be up there, the horizon line. Yeah, because it is hidden, but at the eye level. Yeah, because there's no real manufactured or geometric shapes. Everything's natural or free form. So it's really, if we had like a cube on this ground, then we can actually probably, find the angles to the vanishing point. But the only thing we have that's kind of regular is the feet. All right, and let me see. I'm going to try to do that. Let's see if I can zoom in on the feet and see if we can find that. But I'll screenshot this first and then send it out. There we go. We're going to draw this. I'll simplify it. We'll try to make it because there's a lot. It's a lot. It's like a puzzle. It's like a 10,000 pieces. All right, let's see. Let's see. Good question. Yeah, let's zoom in. How can I zoom in? Zoom in. Oh, I don't like this. Let me see if I can right click on it. Ooh, can't right click yet. Let me clear all this stuff first. Clear all drawings. There we go. Right click. Copy image address. Here we go. Paste. Bam. There we go. Ooh, really big. Ooh, too big. Careful what you wish for. All right, so yeah, so I would see the front of the feet we can line up. It's really hard to see the back of the feet, the shoulders too, because you can see we're looking down on her. You can see we're looking down on her, but we definitely now I can't really get a shape on it. Can't really get a shape on it. But if we had like a box there, oh, let's see. Ooh, interesting. Let's make one up. Just seeing. So this would be the feet here. This would kind of come back here, that angle there, and then I'm assuming kind of comes up. I see now this is just little changes here would make that the vanishing point just change because it definitely gets smaller right there. So if I had that back foot, then I'd be able to triangulate that these two lines, the front lines and the back lines, and where these two would go to our horizon line, and our vanishing point. Yeah, these two lines would continue all the way up there. Can't really try, even her shoulders. And I can't really see her hair, but I'm assuming that, and that would go to the vanishing point over there to the on the horizon line. All right. Interesting. Good question. Good question. But there's not enough information. But I'm assuming. Well, definitely because we're looking down. That. All right. Let's do this. Let's do this. We got quite a drawing tonight. Here we go. Let's do our last drawing. All right. Now. Chit chat. Slip sliding away. Questions. Gotta ask questions. That's it. Awesome question. All right. Let's see. Here we go. All right. Let's break this down. All right. So I'm going to do quite a bit of shading on this one. This will have shading, I guess. We'll shade it. You know what else? All right. So we've got our big. Well, let's break this down into fourths. I should. Oh, where's my? I have. Oh, this is the back part of it. If anything, worst case scenario, I use that. It's I know I had it here. I dropped it. Oh, there it is. I see it. All right, we'll use it. This is actually, it's all graphite. It's a graphite pencil, so it's nothing but a solid graphite, and there's like some kind of plastic or vinyl stuff over it. Let's see, what is it called? I don't know. Broke here. It's a graphito 8B, which is really dark. It's really great for shading, but I broke it. It broke. Yeah. All right. Take care of your stuff. Take care of your stuff, and your stuff will take care of you. I didn't take care of that too well. All right, here we go. Let's block everything in. Let's block it all. Zoom out. I think zoom out a little more. Move my camera back. All right, let's go. All right, so I'm going to break it down into fourths. I don't think this top fourth is that accurate, but it's okay. It doesn't have to be that accurate. So we did break it down into fourths. It's, it's where you really want to kind of get accurate or have an understanding is faces when you're doing faces. So there's my fourths. I move right down on my fourths, and then here we have the big triangle. The big triangle from this side to it crosses over the middle just slightly, right about there. I would say there's that big shape there, and another big shape here. Just blocking everything in. There's a tree, the main tree. This is almost like the main tree that's right in here. It's a main tree that goes up here, right in there. She's got a main tree. She's got a mean streak. There's that tree. Here's another tree. All these trees, and the mountains that are back in here. See, they have this. The mountains just fit really nicely in here. These two mountains. So there's two lines. Okay, that mountain there. They've got this other mountain. Kind of range in there, and then line. So that looks pretty good right there. See, just with simple lines, getting it all to fit in really lightly, just blocking it in where everything's kind of gonna go. The papa shapes. These are the papa shapes. And then we go in with the mama shapes and the baby shapes. The baby shapes is at the end, all the detail, all the texture. This is really rich with texture and dark and light. And there's one tree here. There are 3 trees there, and there's a bunch of other trees. And we can try to get those angles too. Yeah, let's get that path that goes in here. It's on this side. So it kind of comes up there. And let's get that person. I'm gonna go for it. We're gonna go for it. Get that person in here. And that person's right about here. See, I'm just blocking them in. Then they've got a backpack right about there, right about there. And the arm, blah, blah, blah. Right. So there's a person that's going to be right there. We'll see. We'll get there. Well, I'll sketch it in. It'll be a sketch. This is going to be a sketch. We're not going to go full out. But here's the path, the angles. All blocked in now. The head. There. All right, here's a tree over here. All right, let's get these angles. Good thing. See, you mentioned those. I don't know if I would have put these angles in. You wouldn't have mentioned that horizon line up here. But trying to get these angles of these trees really adds to the realism. People don't know, they think it's all standing straight up, but these trees are at an angle, at a slight angle. I probably would have drawn it up. Who knows if you wouldn't have asked that question. Reminds me of the time we asked the question. We were driving in another country. We asked the person, "Where's the stadium at?" And she was just walking. She was just walking down the street, and it's a long street. It really is a long street. We just pulled over and asked her, "Hey, where's the stadium at?" And she had been walking for I don't know how long. And she goes, "Oh, it's down that way." And she goes, "Oh," and she just like turned around and started walking in a totally different direction because I guess we reminded her of something. But like we changed her life in that minute just by asking her that one question. Really? Wow. It's kind of like we were just laughing about it. Like, do you know what just happened? We changed her course of yeah, I don't know. It was really interesting. If we wouldn't have asked her that question, she would have just kept walking. Yeah, interesting. All right, we got 3 tree lines in here. All these tangents. I think that are these stories. See, I do have some stories. Sometimes I have a hard time like talking. Those crazy silent pauses. Like, twiddle my thumbs. Oh man, I've come across some people that can really talk. All right, so I guess I sketched in all my stuff. We're gonna go from the background to the foreground. All right, good night. Thank you, Cynthia, for joining us. All right. This is gonna take a while. All right, yes, it is 9:10. All right, let's see. Actually, we can go pretty quick with it. Actually, once we have it blocked out, it's not that much, really. I mean, it's blocked out there, and I'm just gonna sketch it in. We've got everything blocked out. I'll leave it there for a little bit longer, but it's pretty much that. It really is. It's just it's getting all the texture, all the middle-sized shapes. All right, so let's do this. Uh-oh. Yeah. Oh no, there it is. I thought I lost my picture. And then there's lights and darks and stuff like that. All right, here we go. I'm going to start with the background. Maybe even zoom in on it. All right, Enoch in the house. Let's do this. Let's do these. I'm moving my windows around. There we go. There we go. All right, so yeah, this was really simplified, but that peak is right there, and it is quite a bit of a peak. Yeah, I guess I can try to capture the values a lot. I'm gonna just simplify it. I'm going darker than I would usually, but here's another little peak. We have here in the San Gabriel Mountains, the peaks. There's one called Strawberry Peak, and this one reminding me of it. Strawberry Peak, and then it goes up and down. See, I'm just getting the little ups and downs of this mountain. Little happy mountain. Do my Bob Ross tonight. There it is. There's that mountain, and then there's coming down here. There's a little peak. There's a little valley, little triangular shape there. Then we've got this, and this is light. There's atmospheric dissonance going on here. And this is actually a good shape. I'm going to keep that. Yeah, this is because that should be lighter, but I went pretty dark with it because I want that contrast. I'm gonna yeah, actually when do I go ahead and do it? I'm going to yeah, there we go. Let's see where I'm at. I'm going to just get that sky in there, Skynet. So I'm gonna go do a shade right up against that because that's white. You can't have white without dark. We need that contrast. So I'm going to put in my sky. I'm gonna use the pencil because it's lighter than my this one, the graffito that I'm gonna use later. Yeah, and you should be using lighter pencils. This one's like a number 2. I would probably even say it's a 2H. It's like an H pencil. But it's I don't know, it's a Dixon Oriole, who knows what. Generic school pencil. It's just like a school pencil. It's not use anything that makes a mark. That'll leave a mark. Where do you draw the line? Now, see, I kind of just shaded everything really lightly. And here I want this edge dark, and then I'm just gonna blend it out to that. I'm gonna blend it out. This is kind of you know, a challenge to do as you're blending. Getting that in there. I just lost somebody else. Calling it a night. I know it's late. Yeah, do these marathon drawings. Yeah, get up, walk around. There we go. I'm trying to keep understanding my values that I'm using. Going from this and then going out. And then we've got some, yeah, I did my little triangle there. And there's like all this little grass and moss and stuff on it. It looks like moss. I'm doing little circles and trying to keep it light. It is light on the light value. Let me see, there's that gap right in there. I'll go dark in the middle. Another patch of greenery, but it's all really light and I'm just scribbling. It's all just scribbling. I'm just looking and trying to get the impression of what I see. Another little patch right in here. I can zoom in. I should zoom in because that's, yeah, see, I got that triangle and then I just, little patterns of light and dark. A little scribble. And then all this in here, all this shape in here is going to be scribbled. And it's like all these little, and I'm just going to scribble in here. Just try to, little gaps, little circles, really tight little, because they're like little trees, but it's all this one same value. Not going really dark. I'm watching my values. Because then up in here, it gets a little bit darker. Up in here, slightly darker in here. But it's really, I actually continue the same. There's all this in here because there was a line in here, this shape in here. Well, that mountain goes slightly darker, but it's the same mountain. I think it's in shadow or something there. Or dropping out, or I get these little flickers out of the corner of my eye, your windows. Just little scribbles back in here. There's patterns of light and dark in here and stuff, but I'm just trying to do it, just fill it in. Just and then go over it again, just a little bit darker in this whole area. Just slightly darker than this, so there's some kind of contrast between these two. And close that up a little bit so it's solid. And then here, just a slight different. And there's patches in here too of dark and light and stuff up in here. Scribble it all in. Just scribble. When in doubt, just scribble it out. There you go. When in doubt, just scribble it out. Let's see, there's trees in here. Just right in there. All right, not too shabby. I think I'm getting the feel of it. I've got my mountain, my sky, my little mountain there. And then let's see. Ooh, yellow. What else? Got my trees. All right, let's go left to right. Left to right. Left to right. So we're going to do this whole triangle space. Let's zoom out. This whole triangle space. Now there's some interesting stuff. I would probably go in with an eraser to kind of highlight it, but I'm gonna kind of just get that same sky kind of shading in here, get that sky shade. I'm using my pencil here, just to kind of have a little bit of shade over the whole thing. This makes the white whiter because there's no real white except for that. That's the real white. So I'm toning everything down here, toning everything down just slightly, toning it all down. This whole triangle, tone it all down. Tone it all down, tone everything down. I can tone the whole paper while I'm at it. Just a little bit of tone over the whole thing. And it's not a smooth tone. I'm trying to make it as smooth as I can. You can see there's a lot of scratchy marks. I don't know if I'm going to go any further down. No, that's good enough. That's good enough. All right. Okay, let's get these trees in. All right, I'm going to start. Wow, this is it. I'll probably start with the foreground and then maybe put some, because there's some stuff going on back here. There's some stuff going on back there, but all right. Well, I'll just go left to right. Left to right. There's one tree here, and I'm actually gonna go around it because it's lighter than the background, and I'm just I know it's like this triangle shape, but I'm just kind of outlining it as it kind of goes back and forth. And this is where blind contour really helps, that exercise, blind contour. If you haven't done it, it's the hardest exercise ever. I think it's one of the hardest exercises to do because it forces you to really observe a blind contour drawing. And anyways, yeah, just really forces you to observe and not worry about what your paper looks like. You shouldn't worry about it. All right, I'm shading the background a little bit now. I kind of outline that, and I'm shading this so that tree kind of pops by shading this a little bit back here. And there's two stumps, not two trunks. There's one trunk here, there's a dark side, and then there's a light side. I got to shade around it. There's one, same thing I'm going to do over here too, this other trunk. So there's the trunk here at this angle. See, I got my angles. See, that's, I don't have to worry about this, making sure the angles are all right, because I just, when I did it, I made sure that they were right, and they're in here. I can still see my lines. So there's two trunks, and I drew around them, but it's really shading around them. Shading around them. See, there's a slight shade, and then the texture. Let's see, I'll go all the way up. Yeah, right about, let me see, right about there. They go pretty high actually. Right in there. It's trunks. There's that one, and then there's the main one. This one right here. This is the one that goes up, but you really don't see the trunk of the trunk too much. But there's a trunk that goes right in here. This big tree right in there. Right, that one. That one's going to be a focal point. Yeah, there we go. All right. So yeah, seeing the value, squinting your eyes really helps as well to really see the big shapes and not worry about too much about the detail. Squinting really helps. Now I'm actually putting a little bit of the texture that comes inside the tree while I'm trying to keep the highlights, because there's highlights, but I'm just scribbling inside. There is a pattern. If you notice, there's a pattern. I don't know if I can try to capture it. It's almost like a pinecone pattern, actually. If you notice, let me see. I'm going to try to do one. It's kind of like a triangle here, Then it goes to the side, or like bricks, actually. They're kind of like laid like bricks. These patterns that go back and forth. And that's what you need to see. And then just shade in between them. You shade in between that to make those little triangles pop. I don't know if you can see that. Let me zoom in. There. See, so I have these triangle shapes. These triangle shapes. Yeah, this is definitely a drawing that's going to be here all night. I kind of see them. And then all I'm doing is just shading around them to make them pop. And it's scribbling. It's really just scribbling because there's a lot of texture. It's a lot of texture. I can do it without. And I'm pushing a little bit hard. Plus I'm using my graffito. Graffito's fun. And I can really push like up here, up in here. Some of these branches are really dark and the graffito can go really dark. It's an 8B graffito pencil. And it actually goes over our, yeah, see, like, I'm getting these shapes. Goes up to a point. See, I'm trying to keep some of the lights. I'm trying to keep some of the lights. I'm going up in here. So this is in front. Here we have another tree behind. This is the tree. I'm scribbling it in. And I'm just looking back and forth. And I'm mostly looking at that texture, trying to capture it, trying to capture the trunk of the tree. Don't want to lose it. Some of these go over the trunk, but then like over here, you do get like a really, actually the trunk, and it's outlined almost. And the background, all this is shaded. I can see that there's a shade that makes the trunks pop. I can slightly shade that, make those trunks pop, and then even go around the trunk a little bit darker. Bring those trunks out, those trunks, and then lose them a little bit here and there. It scribbles over it. There's the little branches and stuff. And the spacing of these like branches. And yeah, really almost, you got to squint your eyes and kind of, I'm just capturing the impression. I'm just capturing the impression of it. I'm not drawing every single leaf. We'd be here all night. But the feeling of it, the scribbles, the lights and the darks. I'm looking at the lights and the darks, the shapes, patterns. There's another little tree back in here. I don't know how much I can capture, not capture. Tree pushing and pulling. If I need to get an eraser out, I'll grab an eraser, but I try not to. I just lost that tree a little bit. That's okay. Just watch out for that. Tree. George. Now here's a really dark. All this is really dark. I can really push my pencil in here. Like right in here, there's some really darks. Look at this. This graffito really does really nice dark work. Like right in here, there's some really dark right under this tree, and even around this tree, I can really pop this tree by putting some of these darks and bringing some of these darks over. See, as you start shading, you can start seeing, okay, I need more darks. You can build up these darks, like, and see, okay, oh, where's your darkest darks? They're right in here, right by this. And this is that trunk that goes up. But I'm just scribbling these shapes. See, not like this tree right here really pops as it goes up here, up into the sky. This tree goes up into the sky, but it's same thing like this one, and I'm going darker here. This one is darker, pushing it, really pushing it, trying to get that feel of that, just kind of like going back and forth. It's scribble, watching the spacing, and just who picked this picture? Alan, you better be here. I'm just kidding. Yeah, you are. You're a trooper. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm here and I picked it. I put in variety.
Yeah, that's right. That's awesome. Yeah, well, that's why we're here doing this late at night. This is the last one. This is definitely, we saved this one. Wow. But it's coming
There were two landscapes, one super easy and this one, and this is what you picked.
It sure is the one I chose. And the other one, I mean, the other one is super easy. I mean, if you like it, you can do it. There's nothing wrong with that other one. There really isn't. I just like a challenge. I really do. I like challenges, taking on challenges. That's what's, you know, gotten me to where I'm at. Sometimes I
It
do
just
like,
seems, I'm sorry. It just seems to me that the name of this or the description is beginner to intermediate.
yeah, it is.
So someone puts in beginning pictures too.
Yes. And that's why
And I always keep hoping some children will join up. We haven't had any children since Pearl's grandchildren.
yeah, I know. We've had children in the past. They come and go. I talk too much for them. It's too theoretical. If we did all the fun drawings, all the board panda ones, they'd like that. All right. I'm trying to capture the lights and the darks. There's patterns in here. I'm just actually it's really flat. I can already see that this is really flat. I can try to push some of these a little bit more shapes up in here, but see, I can do that and kind of shade little medium-sized shapes as I'm kind of going back and forth and looking at it and really trying to capture the feel of this tree and seeing these dark patterns. There's like these really dark, little dark patterns and dark forms. And then it actually, yeah, let's see. I would probably get an eraser in there as well, but let's see. There's another tree right in here in front of this one. Right in there. Yeah, it's all just really just scribbles. Let's see if I can bring that. You can't see the trunk in here gets lost. This trunk gets lost in there. But there is kind of like patches. There's these big patches. I'm not capturing as much as I'd like. So there's like one big patch, another patch right here, another patch right there. As I see these patterns and patches, and yeah, like I said, I was working on a puzzle that was like this. It was Yosemite Yo-Yo. Shout out to Andrea. There we go. All right, here we go. Let's see. Let's get this one. This one's like a Christmas tree kind of thing, and there's patterns and stuff to it. I don't know if I can see if I can try to capture it. Definitely get the outline first, and then kind of shade and scribble behind it. And see, get all this. You want to show patterns. That's what you're doing. You're really doing patterns of light and dark and scribbles everywhere. I mean, it's really that's what it kind of almost is. Scribbling here and there. I'm just scribbling on top now. But I shaded this background. Notice this background is darker. And this Christmas tree will pop a little bit because all this behind it is darker. But then I'm bringing some of those darks in. Just back and forth. Scribbles, scribbles. And there's big chunks of darkness and shapes in there, like just like that I did right there. I'm just going around. Trying to keep those chunks. And then right underneath, yeah, there's the mother of all shadows of all this dark, really dark area in there. 9:33, got a message. What is that? Mm. Mm. All right, here we go. Let's see. There we go. See these little dark areas. And once you start getting scribbles in, you can start squinting your eyes and say, okay, it needs to go darker here, lighter here, or more texture here, just scribbles. I mean, all this is just little scribbling. That's all I'm doing is just like scribbles, trying to capture that texture. Here we've got some rocks. Let me see. Let's finish up this whole triangle area, but there's some rocks right in here. There's one rock right about in there, another rock over here, right in there, and I'll just shade around it, and that's all it is just scribbles. But let's finish this whole triangular tree area. It's back here. Yeah, that's actually not bad. This whole just kind of like shading of it, this whole shading of this area, and then putting the trees on top. That slight shade that I did as I'm looking at it, and we're getting these trees that are going up into this area. at those angles. Make sure to keep these angles, those angles, that kind of, you kind of have to imagine them coming down to a vanishing point, like way down below. And that's a skill, that's practice. I mean, let me zoom out, because you do have to kind of imagine all these lines kind of coming down to one vanishing point. The vanishing point would probably be how many papers down? If this is one paper, I'm going to put it below. Well, actually, I can do that. I can imagine these lines coming down. Yeah, they would land on this paper. Let me see. Let's bring this paper up so you can see what I'm talking about. All those lines up there, they would come down. Probably have vanishing point. Right, yeah, right close to the bottom of this. Oops, close to the bottom of the paper. You can see they kind of radiate up to up in here, up in here, up in here. Here we go. You see that tree? I'm pushing some of the stuff back and forth, back and forth. There we go. There's another little tree right in here. And there are some white, I mean, each of these has a white trunk. There's this one in here. It's just like a Christmas tree. All the little branches, I'm just kind of going back and forth, scribbling it. And there's a white trunk in the middle, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to do it. Just a lot of detail. If you had time, it's just like any puzzle, you know, and you have time and you're just relaxing, you'll do it. But when you're like rushed or you really, and it's what's cool about that is that you really get to understand your temperament, who you are and stuff like that, and where you're at, and okay, like, all right, I don't have time for this. I need to, you know, right, okay, or I'm gonna, you know, and you got to be in tune and in touch with that. Sometimes it's, you know, my students would say, I don't have patience. Yes, you do have patience. If you were to wait for Christmas and or wait for, you know, things that you want or things that you know, sometimes we don't have a choice, but I know, but we're in this instant, you know, and there's the whole marshmallow test too. That's a good thing to research, whole marshmallow test. And they say that people who have that are willing to wait, play the long game and stuff like that, do better overall, you know, and that's an understanding of the long game, I would think. The long
I like the little boy who said he'd just take the one marshmallow now instead of wait because he didn't like marshmallows.
ah, there's so many of those videos. It's funny. Yeah, a psychological experiment. Yeah, my sister did it with her kids too. So I'm playing with values. I see the darks and the lights, and you can see it that, you know, as I'm layering it up. And that's a whole other skill. You really almost have to squint your eyes and see these things like that. This whole dark pattern, and then that's what this grass is, a little bit lighter value. Oh, I just lost this tree. It's a lighter value. There's this little tree in here I want to try to keep. I can shade everything just even darker, just push it down slightly. It's all just that pencil control. But it's all just little scribbling, trying to keep but at the base, it definitely goes darker. At this base in some of these areas. But at the base, it goes dark. So yeah, there we go. That's not too shabby. If you need to go in the background, shade it a little bit more, adjust things. All right, here we go. And I've got these angles still. There's a lot of little trees back in here. Just try to keep some of them. Scribble around them. Try to make it blend into that right there. Let me see. Is that the, all right. Oh yeah, we got some more trees in here. They go up higher. All right, I'll bring them up. There's one there. Another one right in there. That'll be the last one. Scribbling them in the open spaces. There we go. Ooh, and here's our big tree right in here. But all this stuff comes down. I don't know, there's something going on there, but I can actually just even shade it down. Once we have that texture up there, this all can be shaded and scribbled in. I can shade it in and then just scribble on top of it. I'm trying to make it blend in so it doesn't stand out so much. Make it sure like it's all like a unified piece. There has to be some kind of unity. If something stands out too much, you got to push it back. Like I know this is darker in here. And it's just like squinting and saying, okay, it should look like one solid piece. You know, that's just a lot of scribbles. Here we got a big tree right in here with a big trunk in the middle. Let's get that trunk. This one right here. This is the main tree. And we got another tree that's right in here. This other Christmas tree kind of pine in there. Oh, this one's really nice in here too. But this one, there's one right here, and then all this other stuff just can be scribbles for me. All right, so this is like a main tree. There's a big clump right in here, that clump. That branch still kind of, the trunk kind of going up. We're looking at these clumps and the way they're open, really open. See that space in between? Almost have to see the space in between. See what's not there to draw what's there. The negative space. The dark matter. All right. Still keeping that branch in the middle, the trunk actually, trying to keep that trunk in the middle. And then just shade around it actually. It's just shading around it as it comes down. It does get lost in here. I don't think that's all right. It's all good. I'm just gonna scribble in here all this in here. See if I can get it to feel right. And one thing is trying to keep these as informed. There's in between rendering and drawing. Just shade it down a little bit. As it comes down, it kind of blends back into this background, the trunk of this tree. And then this one, I like this one. This one has a fun top to it. I'm gonna try to keep it because it's it's dark and it kind of just radiates out. It almost looks like a fig tree, one of those fake trees that they put on on the cell towers. It's got that little top on it, and then it just kind of radiates. Let me zoom in so you can see what I'm talking about on this tree right in here. It kind of just kind of radiates from each side. And it's more than just radiating, actually. It does kind of like it's scribbling as it goes out. It's yeah, it's not, they're not straight out like that. They do kind of, but they're spaced like this. That's what's going on. They're spaced. Notice the spacing. Notice the spacing, like this. It's a little tighter than that one. Look at the gaps. It's a little tighter and it's more regular, but it's still kind of like just right in there in that tree as it comes up. And then there's a big gap. There's a big gap, like one of the branches was taken out. Maybe a bird or who knows what. So there's a gap, and then it continues. Slight gap. And continue with it as it comes down. Kind of fades into this background, but that tip is really important. Fades into this whole area right in here, because we have another tree that's going to be right in here. This one right in there. So this just scribbles into oblivion, kind of hides, kind of gets lost in all the camouflage and all the scribbles. But you see just that, your eye will pop to these areas, and then just kind of get lost in this drawing. As we scribble it around, just scribble, scribble, scribble. All these leaves. All right, let's see. Oof. Another dark area right up in here. This is dark right in here. This part of the tree is dark as it kind of comes up. This tree right here, right behind our our person. Zoom out a little bit so you can see the location of it. That's that. There's like a couple of trees in there, but I'm going to simplify it into one kind of. I'm just getting that texture, but it's really dark, and there's light as well. There's dark patches up in here, really dark patches around here, and this really almost points out to this person that's right in here, standing there. I think I might draw that person. No, I'm going to continue on this left. Let's finish all this. We're going from top to down, left to right, top to down. We'll do this whole tree area, and then we'll continue with the grass. But this tree is really challenging. See, there's just like this patch right in there, and I'm shading around the patch. You have to squint your eyes and see these shapes. And yeah, this is definitely more advanced, but it's a lot of scribbling. And you can see me doing it. Kind of, I see you doing it, but I can't get it. It's all right. Just scribble. And then you don't compare the two. Don't compare to despair. You just do it. And then you do it again. And then you do it again. The more you do it, the better you get. It's like, oh, now I'm getting it. Then you get a little sense, a little kick of dopamine, a little kick of, I don't know, the feel good. It feels good. Oh, yes, I'm on track. I'm on track. Getting it. And that's the progress, not perfection. Progress. Progress. Yeah, this side of the tree is darker. There's actually this side of the tree is darker. There's a whole darkness. And then on that side, there's light. I'm trying to see where the light source is. It's definitely just a general light. It could be like a cloudy day. But, been having those really nice mornings, and then it warms up. Boom. Yeah, I did. It was biking. I biked this week. It was really nice. I biked it out to Dana Point. Really nice little baby beach. I took my kids there when they were kids, when they were babies. All right, now funny things happening here as far as light and dark. It does go dark here, but then it goes light again, and then it goes dark again. This is the whole patterns of light and dark. So around this tree, I can try to keep it around this tree. Then it goes dark again. So I'm going to try to go dark again right in here and try to keep some of that light. So there's like almost a core shadow. Then it goes light, but then it goes dark again. Really dark. It gets really dark back in here. And scribbles, there's dark scribbles back in this area, even darker. So yeah, I'm reserving my really dark darks right in here, right in here. There's a tree right in here, a little one, scribble it in. Boom, 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 but it's got that triangular shape. But you see, I just scribbled it in. I did the outside and then shaded in now. See, there's a tree right in there. I'm just capturing the feel of it, the feel. Okay, there's a big tree right in here, big tree right in there, and then there's all these little ones on this line right in there. On this little one, there's a lot of little ones, and they're really dark. Let me scribble this one in. This one's just a scribble all the way to the top. Scribble. Drawing through scribbling. It's sketching, scribbling. And there's the spacing. What is that? The rhythm. There's like a rhythm, the spacing of it. There's a rhythm. There's music. The hills are alive with the sound of happy little clouds. Happy little trees. You can draw for free. Join our group. Become part of we want to free we want to free the mind. Free the mind. Education should be free. Education should be wanted. You have to desire, you have to be thirsty for it. You have to ask questions. To be curious. Search. All right, so there's this whole tree, a bunch of trees in here. I'm trying to make them regular, but then not regular. There's like, they're kind of like regular, but then there's some little ones in between that kind of break up that regularity. A little bit of fiber. You can tell it's getting late. And all right. There we go. That's the top of that mountain that's on this side. And then they kind of get lost in the trees that are in here as well. So I'm just gonna see, just capture the feel between shading and sketching and scribbling. There's trees in here, just kind of like there are trees in here. Let me shade all this area a little bit more. Push this back in here. Oh, let's move that. San Juan Mountains, Colorado. That's where this is. San Juan Mountains, Colorado. All right, we're down to 4 hardcore heroes. 4 hardcore heroes. Yeah, this is quite a mission here. 947. Wow. Yeah, I'm telling you. All right. This is the last one we're gonna do together. Me at the age of 55, going on 56, 55, going on, oh yeah, 105. Now this tree is bigger. There's this really big tree right on this right side, and you want to get the feel of that. This one really definitely has a bigger chunks and bigger forms, bigger shapes, forms like this one in here. I'm capturing. See, it's where that blind contour drawing kind of helps. I'm seeing these shapes in here, and then all this stuff. There's trees in here, scribbles. But yeah, it's getting late. See, I can totally get lost in this, but some people like, oh, I'm totally lost. No, but lost in like, oh, okay, wow, I'm just looking and observing, seeing the shadows, seeing the textures, the patterns of light and dark, and I'm trying to capture all these shapes in here. See these these are big clumps on this tree right here, big clumps. The clumps. And then back here, patterns, light and dark trees coming up. You can see the tops of these trees too, a little bit on the ones that come down here. There's like, yeah, not capturing it all completely. Yeah, we're just getting the feel of it. These trees that are kind of right in here, scribbling them in. Scribble, scribble, scribble. The patterns of light and dark. Yeah, patterns of light and dark and medium shades. I just did a medium shade. I have pencil control. I go light, press for really dark where I see my darks, really darks, and then lighten it up. Not so dark. Nice little shade. Yeah, nice little shade in there, getting different values. Then on top of that, I can go darker again. Just getting these shades. And actually, I want to keep some of these lights on this one because this tree that's closer. It actually goes up really high up in here. I'm gonna bring it up all the way up to the top of that corner. All right, so we have the background, the middle ground. This is the middle ground. And then we're gonna do the foreground, all 4 of them. We're gonna do the foreground, the front. Yeah, and this is taking us longer than Bob Ross. Bob Ross would have been done with this in a half an hour. We're probably like an hour on this one. Good old Bob, but he just good old Bob Ross. Never did a portrait in his life. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if he did or didn't, but yeah, he did just landscapes. You just do one thing, get good at it. Oh, focus. And then you move on to the next thing. But just he stuck with it. He was good with it. But sometimes, going on to the next thing, it's a little scary because you get really good and then it's like, okay, I'm afraid to make mistakes. Got to get over that fear, You get comfortable. All right, let's see. Let's scribble some more darks. Trying to get those darks in here. Big old chunk of darkness encompassing me, all that I see. Absolute horror. Oh, landmines have taken my sight. All right, let's do the middle ground. Let's do the middle ground. Middle ground. All right, so the middle ground. Middle ground is gonna be easy actually. It's really light and there's a slight texture. It's just grassy area. We want to keep those rocks and there's little paths and stuff in here. We got our rocks in. What else is it? The path. And we got our path kind of in there. We don't have to worry about making it that straight. It's kind of just like in that area. You know, let's get that path in there. And that I think we should do that person. That way we can get her out of the way. And we almost have this line too pointing at it. So really nice compositionally, you know, we got these things pointing to this person here. And there's a big old shrub right in here, a big old shrub right in there, which I kind of killed a little bit. Yeah, I don't know, it's all good. It's all good. So I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to focus on her, get some detail on her, and then just scribble it all in and end it and finish this whole thing. So she's gonna need a little bit of detail, a little focus. She's a focal point. She's facing that way. This is the back of her head. So I already have the circle for her head in there. I'm gonna just go darker. And then I'm going to, she's got a hot, you know, it's light on top. Let's make it kind of rounded. See, I'm keeping some of that. I did just put a little bit of shade in there. And then just darken the bottom to make it round. Then her hair kind of comes up and over it. And then she's got her shoulder, a little bit of a shoulder, and then her backpack, her little thing that goes over like that. And this is all anatomy. If you don't have to draw this person, you can skip it until you feel like, okay, it's a challenge. You know where there's challenges. And sometimes you want to run from them. Sometimes you want to fight them. You know, you want to be that warrior. Say, okay, I know I'm having trouble with figures right now. I don't feel like drawing figures. I'm not going to draw it. But then you know, you can only run from those dragons and monsters for so long until you have to face them. Yeah, you have to face those monsters, and then you just face them, and then it's nothing. It's simple, right? Enoch, it's like, oh yeah, it's easy. It's easy. It's easy. All right, and it's all in shade right here. There's a slight shade, and then it goes up to the arm where it gets lighter. See, it's down here is darker, and then up here is lighter. Two angles, the hand. Then there's the backpack, there's a backpack on here, and that goes into darkness with light on top of it. Well, I can shade the whole thing to keep it different from the arm. I want to try to keep that light on that arm because everything else around here is going to be darker. I want that arm to pop. So see that contrast right there. See, I just shaded everything else. And this is the shade of the grass that's going to go around it. And the grass that goes around it. There's the backpack. And the backpack's going to go a little bit darker. Build up my darkness. Landmine has taken my side. Take my hair in. And then the shorts are really dark. These shorts. Let's put on some shorts. Put on your shorts and sing like the Duke. Shorts right in here, really dark. This is going to be really dark, just like the hair is dark, really dark. Bam. There's the shorts. I can darken up the backpack a little bit more. It's a big backpack. I put a little bit of lines on here. Just make it like there's a backpack. Then the leg, a little bit lighter, but also dark. And there's one leg, the calf, and then the foot, the feetsies. There's one, and then the other one up here. There we go. See, so you're looking down. See, they're not lining up. These 2 feet. There we go. Bam. There they are. A little bit of shade right there. Push that back a little bit. Dark feet. Oh, there it is. Look at that. And that's really small. It's really small. And if I zoom back out, you can see it in relation to my hand. There's our backpacker. Backpack. Now we can scribble all this in. This is the shade. We already have that shaded. We can shade it. I just watch out for the rocks, falling rocks. I can just really quickly just shade this whole area in, especially with this pencil, this graffito. Try to watch out for those rocks. If you mess up, you can actually go in there with an eraser to pick those out. And you can keep some of this. See, I'm going to keep some of that so I can have that contrast in there. And maybe a little more texture so it's not so flat. A little bit of, you gotta, you know, use your artistic license. Go in there. You can probably even put some texture on these rocks. So you just tap, tap. And then I can actually, after do my shade, I can actually put some texture like these scribbling on there as well. I'm just shading this whole thing in really lightly with my B8. It's my B8. I should have had a B8. There we go. All this back in here, pushing it back, pushing it in the back, way back. Is that a rock? Oh no, this is a shrub. Let's scribble that shrub in. Scribble around it so there's contrast, and you see it makes it rounded pop. Maybe push some of this stuff back a little bit more finer, more fine somewhere in there. Let's put, even on this rock I can probably go a little bit darker in some of these areas around it to make that rock pop a little bit more. Rock should have been a little bigger, maybe further out. That's all good. I'm outlining it a little bit. And then, putting some of that scribbling, but trying to keep it light. Trying to keep it light. I don't want to lose this value that I have going on in here. I'm just adding texture, slight little texture, little grasses, little scribbles here and there. There's patches of light and dark as well. If you look at them, you look, squint your eyes, you can see little patches of dark and all this greenery, shrubbery. Try to keep that path as well. So we want that path to pop. So we have to shade around it, like right in here. Definitely, I'm going to push that shade a little bit darker, and that path is going to be light. See, the darker I go with this area, and I can bring it lighter as it comes up. But this edge right here, this area right where the path is, I'm trying to keep this as an edge. I don't want to outline it too much. See, like here, that's an outline. I'm going to shade right to the line. So it's an edge, right? Trying to get rid of lines. There we go. Let's see, so we have that edge. And then I can slightly shade this as well. I mean, just really slightly shade it now that I have, see, it's darker. Then here we have this around here too, this bottom side of the path. And I will scribble that in as well right now. There is some darkness under the shrub. Helps bring your eye back up in here. There's shrub, trying to capture that form. And then it scribbles back up in here. And the path is right there. I want to try to keep that path. There's some shrubs on, just little scribbles. We're almost done. Almost there. Almost there. This is actually, it should be pretty quick, because all this is just going a little bit darker than over here. Just slightly. Make that path pop. And then I might be going a little fast for you. I apologize. There's a really nice plant in here. Maybe I should try to keep it as well. But I've got a nice little shade in here now. It's a little bit darker than this. It's just slightly darker. But I can scribble on top of it, get some more of that texture. I'm just really just scribbling. Really, that's all I'm doing. How do you shade? Just do it. Just shade, just scribble combinations. There's a really nice plant in here. See if I can try to keep it. It's a lot of work. I would do it, but then just shade around it, trying to capture the lights and the darks, patterns. Then there's some shadow. Yeah, and more grass. And then fade it out. Yeah, I didn't totally capture it, but out of time. All right. I'm getting ready. Let's put my name on this. I love you. Oops. Yeah, that's close enough. That's it. Sign it. Yeah, when you're proud of your work, you gotta sign it. 5/18, put a date. Maybe on the back if you don't want to put the date on the front. 23. Man, 22 was a tough year. It's my favorite number too. Oh man, and I was a kid. I remember, oh, I got so far off. I'll be in my 50s. I'll be old. Yeah, well, here we are. What do you say now, kid? Yeah, I wanted to like, oh my gosh, I wanted to make change. I thought, yeah, 2022. We'll make February 22nd, 2022. Well, yeah, when COVID hit. Nah, you know what? It was more than just COVID. There was other things going on. A lot of things in my life. If I had support, that's all I wanted. Just a little bit of support. Support. There we go. All right, this shrub here kind of creates shadows and stuff. There's a little bit. It's not totally white. This path here, putting a little bit of shade. You can actually even just rub some rubbings too. Just rub. I think that's it. I think I like it. Whew.
Yes, but there are two problems here.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so regarding the date, hundreds of years from now, no one will know what century it was. And time travelers don't even get me on the problem time travelers are going to have with this. You really need to write 2023.
Really, yeah. You know what? I think technology will be so advanced that they'll know. They'll just know. They'll just know. They'll say, okay, I can tell carbon dating or whatever.
You sure technology won't be so advanced that no one will understand reality?
I think technology will be so advanced that it'll be part of who we are, and this image here, because it's out digital already, it is now digital. It's and once I put it on YouTube, it'll be just a node in a vast memory of that's accessible in this big database where it just says, okay, drawing 5/18/23. Oh, here it is, and here this was the date it was posted. This was, I mean, it's going to be so connected. It's insane what's coming, and my understanding of it is pretty wild. So yeah, it's
Well, I'll agree with the it's going to be insane part.
yeah, it is already insane. It's just it's just beginning. It is definitely pretty wild. We're going to be in for quite a few. The digital divide is going to grow, and yeah, but it's definitely we're gonna advance a lot in the next few years. Technology, everything, medicine, everything's going to advance so much. But yeah, but there's dangers too that will advance as well. All right, people, thank you so much. On a happier note, hopefully. Yeah, you just learn to observe, learn to see, learn to appreciate, learn to be grateful. Definitely attitude of gratitude, breathing that air, taking a hike, enjoying Mother Nature as much as we can. All righty. Any other questions or comments? All right, thank you. Another fantastic, inspiring evening. Happy, wonderful, fun birthday to you. Wishing you and everyone a very beautiful week. Thank you, Anne Francois. Good night, Constanza. Good night, Alan. Happy thanks. Happy birthday. Thank you. Ciao. Take care, everyone. All right, Enoch. Bye-bye.